Pod Mortem would like to thank Original Cinematic for sponsoring this week's episode. Original Cinematic is an independent production company that has made it their mission to create, produce, and promote films that are inclusive, honor women, promote the LGBTQIA+ community, and provide prominent positions and roles to POC actors and filmmakers, and promote the films of marginalized and underrepresented populations. These are all things that are extremely important to our podcast as well.
Original Cinematic is currently accepting scripts and treatments. Both William and Xxena Rush are available via email or Zoom to discuss writing and provide input and resources to all aspiring writers, free of charge. Their information will be made available in the show notes. There may be delays due to a hectic schedule and all projects being read on a first-come, first-served basis, but everything will be read and responded to. William Rush has individually produced numerous projects, including Pack is Here, Before, The Cottage, The Winemaker, and Day by Day. Their multi-award-winning film Group premiered and was celebrated at multiple film festivals as well as screenings, both in person and via Zoom, that were made graciously available to us and our patrons.
Original Cinematic has many exciting projects on the horizon. Their next film, Immersion, has been completed. The award-winning Sweetener is in development, Fetish begins shooting in September, and Encore will begin next spring. Their documentary Women in Conversation is slated for a September release, and we are looking forward to each and every one of them. It is truly an honor to partner with Original Cinematic, and we can't thank them enough for their contribution to our show. And now, back to our regularly scheduled program.
Salutations! Welcome to Pod Mortem. I'm Travis Hunter-Sayapin, joined as always by my co-hosts, my sister and my brother-in-law.
Hi, I'm Reneé Hunter-Vasquez.
Hi, I'm John Paul Vasquez.
This week, we're broadcasting live from a fog-filled cell block, discussing the 2018 supernatural horror film, Insidious, The Last Key. This film was directed by Adam Robitel from a screenplay by Leigh Whannell. Acting as both a sequel to its predecessor and a prequel to the earliest entries of the series, Insidious, The Last Key unlocks an emotional tale that enriches the lore of all the films that came before. With a compelling performance from its fan-favorite lead, an impressively eerie atmosphere, and inspired scares and sequences of suspense, this film would defy its mixed critical reception to achieve incredible box office success and light the path forward for the franchise to continue on a little further. So, Insidious, The Last Key. What were your first impressions on the film?
I don't remember exactly the first time we watched it. I know we watched it together, babe. I know it wasn't in the theater. We only watched it the once. But other than that, I forgot a lot about this movie. So watching it for the show, I was just like, oh, okay, this is fresh, this is whatever. Until we hit a certain point, then I was like, oh, okay, I remember all of this now. Or the whole, from then on. But other than that, the movie isn't too bad, honestly, for me. It's not great. I feel like there's something missing from here. We get Lin Shaye. I mean, you know what I mean? Specs and Tucker, you know what I mean? We're back in the further or whatever for a little bit. It is comfortable. It is like we know, these are our people. But then it just still, something feels like it's missing. I don't even know if intention is there. It's just like, what is this supposed to be? Like, what are we accomplishing here for real? Or what are we really doing with this, like, side quest or side story or something? It is cool getting to see them again, but I would watch it again, but I don't know how I feel. I'll be honest. This was a weird one to kind of go through because I know we like in the Insidious movies, you know what I mean? They're pretty cool. But yeah, this one was just kind of weird for me.
Yeah, I totally agree. Like you said, I know we watched it the one time. I remembered nothing. I remembered kind of one set piece, but that was it. I remembered nothing narratively. And I have the same issue. There is just something odd about, I don't know if it's the way the story unfolds. I don't know if it's the fact that these characters went through some shit in this and choose to call upon none of it. The original film, which I know you can't go back, you know what I mean? But it's like, you have to keep those things in mind when you're making a prequel.
Yeah.
But because they go through some shit.
Yeah.
I love Elise. I love that we really get to center her in this story. We give her a very interesting, devastating backstory. And that should be, that should scratch the itch, but for some reason it just doesn't. I feel like we all love Lee Winnell.
Oh, yeah.
And, the stories that he has brought into our lives. But the writing in this at times feels a little bit clunky. There is just something weird about this movie.
Yeah.
I think when we were talking about it earlier, I said soulless, maybe. There is just some heart that is not quite there. I don't know if we were rushing. I know nothing about production.
Right.
I don't know if this was a rush to get this out and maybe some edges weren't really sanded down. I don't know what happened, but purely as a viewer, you watch it and it's like, it's not like it was bad. It's not egregious. It's not terrible. It's not offensive to the franchise. It's just like, oh, that was fine. And I think we have all the pieces here for it to have been great.
Yeah.
And I just don't really know why it wasn't. It feels maybe a little formulaic, like it's the fourth movie, we know what beats to hit and then roll credits. And it's like, this was kind of a story at its core about family and about, I just, even though those things are there on the page, there's just something that doesn't fully resonate. Like I was talking to T earlier and I feel like 3 and 4 aren't as good as 2 and 2 wasn't as good as 1. So it's like, these are all fine. I don't hate any of them. I'm not like mad about any of them, but it's like, we cannot get to where we came from.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we cannot get back to that greatness that was captured, for me at least, in that first one.
Right.
But like I said, it's fine. I wouldn't be like, ew, you like the last key or anything. Like it's fine. It's a decent movie for the franchise. For what was this, 2018?
Yeah.
Fits. It's fine.
And there's a lot of cool visuals as well.
There is, and there were a couple scares that I was like, all right, this has been a little lukewarm, but that hit. You know what I mean? But just overall, I don't know if it's because I really do enjoy the character of Elise. I really do love this franchise, and I'm just like, and I kind of felt the same way with the third one. Oh, that was all right. It was fine.
I remember the first time that I watched this, I went to the theater with our parents, and I left thinking that it was, again, that's fine.
Yeah.
And it's not anything to say that it's bad, because I don't believe that it is. I think that there's just something about it, like you guys are saying, where it just does not seem to reach the heights, or at least the highest points of the previous ones.
Yeah.
And it's very interesting, though, because they are doing everything that you think should work. They are centering the strength of this franchise, with Elise being the lead.
Yeah.
Specs and Tucker are involved, which we all appreciate.
Yeah.
And it is attempting to do something a little bit different in the way that the story unfolds.
Right.
There are a couple of twists that the first time I saw it, I did not see coming.
Yeah.
Agreed. Yeah.
And yet I am like, all right. I will say, though, there is something very special to me about these Insidious films. The first one came out when I was, I think, 19 years old.
Okay.
And so these things have been with me for a long time.
Yeah.
And returning just to the atmosphere, the James Wan fog.
Yep.
The expansive, endless, liminal further. It does, like you said, it's incredibly comfortable.
Yeah.
It's very nostalgic. You have the Joseph Bishara score.
Yeah.
Like everything about it, you're like, this is just like returning home.
Yeah.
And yet, when you get there, you're like, did you move my bed?
Yeah.
Have you rearranged?
It is.
You're not my real mom.
Yeah. And I don't know why.
Yeah.
And even so, they have a big bad in this film.
Yeah.
Incredibly designed.
Yeah.
Yes.
Looks fantastic. And yet, a little underwhelmed.
Yeah.
And again, it's nothing against the performance.
Right.
There's just something about it. I don't know. Maybe it is a problem of comparing it to previous entries.
Okay.
Where you're like, yeah, you're pretty cool, but that's not the lipstick demon.
Yeah.
Right.
But I think that's why weird is the only thing I could come up with, because it is that, like you're saying, and we've been talking about, it is comfortable and we're happy to be here, but it is, I guess, you moved the table and I don't like it over there.
Yeah.
Like that rug holds the room together.
It does. We need it.
Yes.
But I don't know. And I will say the things that they do in order to tie it back into the previous entries, which chronologically come later.
Right.
I'm a sucker for that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Literally anything that you do to tie things up in a way that reminds me of the things that I love so much about this franchise.
Yeah.
How could I ever consider that a negative? I know I've seen some things online where people say that it relies too much on what came before.
Okay.
But to me, I think that's what comes with establishing a universe.
Yeah.
Like, you need these things that are franchise specific that we all can latch on to.
Yeah.
This feels like an Insidious film in that way.
Yeah.
And again, I really am. I am the fan that they're servicing. And so I have no complaints about that. And it makes it very interesting because you can kind of turn this franchise, because of this film, into a bit of a choose your own adventure.
Yeah.
Because you can watch them in so many different orders that you want to. You can watch it the way that they were released.
Right.
You can watch it 1, 2, and the Red Door. You can, there's so many different configurations, which I think is pretty interesting because it kind of lends itself to the way that the Further plays with time.
Yeah. That's true.
I like that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know. I think that this one is, and I like you said, JP, I would return to it and I would watch it again.
Yeah.
But not as much as the other ones, maybe.
Right.
That's fair.
But before we dive into this film, as is customary, I would like to talk about how it was made.
Okay.
The sources that I have for this section include interviews with Adam Robitel and Leigh Whannell in Rue Morgue, Den of Geek, The Daily Dead, We Got This Covered, comicbook.com, Rotten Tomatoes, Collider, Dread Central, and Bloody Disgusting.
Very nice.
So shortly before the release of Insidious Chapter 3, it's 2015. Franchise co-creator and at one point in Pod Mortem lore, my best friend.
At one point.
Yeah. Well, we haven't talked in a while.
Yeah.
Leigh Whannell was already fielding questions regarding the future of the franchise. And again, this is before Chapter 3 even comes out.
Jeez.
Whannell vaguely discussed an interest in exploring the time between Insidious Chapter 3 and what followed chronologically in the first Insidious film, seeing this small section of time as quite fertile ground to dig into, though he wasn't quite sure what form that idea would take yet.
Okay.
So Insidious Chapter 3 releases on June 5th, 2015, making $113 million against its $11 million budget.
Damn.
This naturally paves the way for a follow-up, which is officially announced in May of 2016. The only issue, though, is that Whannell finds himself in a bit of a creative rut. He knows, of course, when he wants the film to take place, but he wonders, how is he going to tell a story that connects to the other films that isn't just the same old thing that the audience has already seen 3 times? Whannell described writing this screenplay as an uphill battle, tantamount to climbing Everest. And he said that he just couldn't get into the right creative space. So he decided to make the process a little more fun. And instead of staying in Los Angeles to get the job done, he rented a vacation home in Spain for him and his family so that he could have a change of scenery and hopefully some inspiration.
Okay.
He said it was always his dream to write like Truman Capote, sitting on a balcony with the ocean in front of him, a gorgeous atmosphere to hopefully aid in his writing process.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
what a dream.
Yeah.
When I'm feeling uninspired at my apartment, I take my laptop to Kristen's apartment. But go on.
Yeah. We turn ocean sounds on YouTube.
Yeah.
But what he learned is that writing in Spain is just as miserable in writing in Los Angeles. You just have a better view.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And it's funny because in one of those interviews, he was like, this is going to sound bougie as hell.
I love it.
But during this time, he's taking calls from Jason Blum. At first, outright lying to him that everything is going well and there's nothing to worry about. But he eventually asks him for a little more time so that he can finally find the right way to crack this story.
Okay.
Winnell noted that the annual release schedule of the Saw franchise was essentially why he stopped writing them. And so he was grateful to have a little more leeway and space with the Insidious franchise, which allowed for more time to let the creativity flow rather than force him to force something.
Okay.
And it took him saying that in that interview for me to realize that there are some years sometimes between the entries.
Yeah.
And should be.
Yeah.
But I feel like we cover so many sequels, and that is so rarely the case.
It is.
We're like, and then the next year.
Yeah. So while he's walking around this 300-year-old Spanish home, Winnell soon stumbles upon the proper story to tell, realizing that the best way forward would be to go backward, all the way into fan-favorite character Elise Rainier's past, delving into her childhood, her life, her gift, and her familial dynamics.
Okay.
Winnell rightfully saw Elise as the heart and soul of the Insidious films and thought that it would be interesting to take her from being a quirky side character like she was in the first two films to a co-lead like she was in Chapter 3, all the way to being the proper lead in this fourth film, finally giving her the full focus. And most crucially, he thought that this film could be a bit of a showcase for Lynn Shay herself, noting the brutal realities of Hollywood and the film industry as a whole, where women of a certain age struggled to find good acting roles. And for Shay, who was in her early 70s at the time, to lead a franchise film, Winnell was stoked to shine this spotlight on her, and she deserves it.
Yeah.
She really does, because she kills it.
Yeah.
There are a couple scenes where, like, it's even, like, the trimmer in her hands, or, like, it's like, damn, dude, she, like, is in it.
Yeah.
But compared to the few weeks that it took Leigh Whannell to write the first Insidious film, The Last Key took him 7 months.
Jeez.
But despite being the screenwriter, from the get-go, Leigh Whannell had no interest in returning to the director's chair for this film. He had directed Chapter 3, but in the intervening year between Insidious Chapter 3 and The Last Key, Whannell had also written a science fiction film called STEM, later retitled as Upgrade.
Oh.
And he really wanted to give his full attention to that project rather than split his efforts between both films.
Okay.
Is that the Logan Marshall Green?
Huh.
I need to see that. I like him a lot.
Yeah, I've seen that, but I've never watched it.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. So it was up to Whannell and the producers to find the right person to helm the project. They created a short list with one name very quickly rising to the top of it. That would be Adam Robitel. We've talked about Robitel on the show before when we covered his directorial debut, The Taking of Deborah Logan.
Oh, okay.
Shit.
And it was actually James Wan's appreciation of that film that helped Robitel score an interview at Blumhouse to see if he was right for the job.
Rightfully so.
Yeah.
And Robitel came prepared, assembling a massive lookbook, presenting animated storyboards, and even pitching an idea for a demon central to the story that wasn't originally featured in Leigh Whannell's screenplay.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wow.
That surprised me.
Yeah.
The producers initially had concerns about Robitel being capable to graduate from found footage to a more traditional feature, but they eventually came around, recognizing that even with it being a different skill set, Robitel was more than ready to rise to the challenge. And I partially understand, and I partially think that that's kind of ridiculous.
Yeah.
Because just because of the way that it was shot, the narrative was still there for The Taking of Deborah Logan.
Yes.
So it's not as if it was unwritten or I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like we see so many times that it's almost like they want to put people in a box.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh no, he's a found footage guy. And it's like, what? I feel like found footage films as well are known for doing a lot with a small budget.
Yeah.
So it's like, I know y'all want somebody like that,
Yeah.
Blumhouse.
He's like, hire this man. But after officially receiving the gig, Robitel shared his excitement that the story centered around Elise Rainier, because as it turned out, Robitel was good friends with Lynn Shay, having acted in a couple of films with her previously.
That's great.
But Robitel later admitted that it was a steep learning curve, feeling like a dog who had finally caught the bus, and referring to Juan and Winnell as the Michael Jordan of modern supernatural horror. And he said that he knew that they were big shoes to fill.
Okay.
Thankfully, Blumhouse gave him the latitude to find his footing, and it certainly didn't hurt to have Winnell on set almost every single day as an actor and producer.
Yeah.
Which helped guide him and make sure that Robitel stayed true to the universe that Winnell co-created.
Okay.
And throughout the production, Robitel eventually evolved from asking himself, what would Juan and Winnell do, to finding the personal confidence to ask, what would Adam Robitel do?
Oh, I love
Yeah.
it.
But Robitel tried to prepare himself properly, rewatching all of the previous films in the franchise, and even watching films like The Changeling and Burnt Offerings, which he knew influenced Juan's direction of the first two films. But he finally made peace with the fact that he would never, quote, out-Juan the Juan, and he decided instead to view the film as more of a family drama with some frightening moments sprinkled throughout, rather than an outright horror film. Noting that, and there's another quote, horror works best if you take the scares out of it and still have a gripping story.
Okay.
Which is fair.
Yeah.
But even so, Robitel appreciated how well Leigh Whannell balanced the drama and the horror with humor, explaining that there exists a Laurel and Hardy / Scooby-Doo quality to some of the material, which he loved. And he said that if somebody is looking for something nihilistic, they could just go watch True Detective instead.
And you can also listen to it.
PMTV.
Over on our Patreon.
That's right.
But that's about all I have. Insidious: The Last Key would release on January 5th, 2018, to mixed critical reviews, which didn't stop it from achieving incredible box office success, making $167 million against its $10 million budget.
Oh, wow.
And having covered the first three films in the franchise already, it's time to go a little further
That's right.
and talk about this one. Now, before we unlock this film, we would like to issue a warning for spoilers. Pod Mortem is a very in-depth podcast, and in thoroughly discussing horror films, we have no choice but to spoil a thing or two. If you don't wish to be spoiled, please go watch the film, then come back and enjoy the show. If you've already seen the film or don't care about spoilers, let's confront the past. Now, this film relies heavily on having already seen Insidious, Insidious Chapter 2, and Insidious Chapter 3. If you haven't, we recommend you go watch them, or go listen to episodes 23, 103, and 199 of our show as a refresher. So following a series of production vanity plates, we find ourselves hovering through a haze of billowing fog in the dark. Serene strings in the score surround us as the white text of the opening credits glides closer, dissipating into vapor before reaching us and giving way to the film's title, Insidious. The pointed letters glow a dull red, heat smoldering within them as we slip through the spaces between, a low light illuminating the rusted metal of the film's subtitle behind it, The Last Key. We drift through a keyhole which lies at the center of the letter A, the camera pulling back through the shadows inside to reveal the large lock of an iron gate, lit by the brights of the county coroner's panel van. An uncredited guard reaches forward, the gate yawning open with a harsh screech, and unveiling an unpaved path for the vehicle to follow. As it passes us by, we get on-screen text in the lower third reading, 5 Keys, New Mexico, 1953. So with what we have upcoming, a lot of people have called out that 5 Keys is a little on the nose.
A little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit.
But I did learn that the little hamlet in Spain as Lee Winnell called it, that he wrote this film. The name of it roughly translated to 5 Keys.
All
okay,
right.
okay.
But we rise above the gates as the guard pulls them closed, a circular lamp beaming from its iron center as the county coroner continues onward up the curved dirt road. This lamp at the center of the gate reminded me a lot of the light fixture at the beginning of the first film.
Okay.
And I didn't know if it was a little bit of a callback.
Yeah.
But I appreciated it. The oscillating searchlight of Dew Bend State Penitentiary carves through the night, a loud buzz emanating from the stark and silhouetted structure, the stern voice of a guard echoing into the evening. Lights out! But the coroner carries on, past the creaking, rotating mechanisms of a pump jack, as well as a row of mailboxes planted firmly in the soil, the one nearest to us broadcasting a surname in childish script. Rainier.
I was like, oh.
Yeah.
So I was like, why the hell are we here?
The camera climbs the coroner's passing van to settle upon a house, which rests on the crest of an adjacent hill. Inside, we float through the foyer and into the living room, lit by the golden glow of a lamp, where in his chair, Gerald Rainier, played by Josh Stewart, sits sipping a glass of whiskey in his undone uniform, watching a black and white newsreel on the rise and recent death of Joseph Stalin.
Josh Stewart, if you remember, we talked about him in The Collector.
We sure did.
He was also in The Odyssey.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, very cool.
Good for him.
Yeah.
It did take a while for me to place it that he was in The Collector.
Yeah.
And then when I realized, I was like, oh, yeah, that's right. I've heard The Collection is much better, so we'll...
Okay.
We'll
see.
get into it, yeah.
But Christian Rainier, Gerald's young son, played by Pierce Pope, enters the room, lingering behind his father's chair and tilting his head to the television before approaching Elise Rainier, his sister, played by Ava Kolker, who occupies a seat on the floor with a sketchbook.
Ava Kolker, she was in Scary Movie 5 in 2013.
Wow. Oh, Lord.
Christian gazes down at his sister's drawing, where shadows encircle a roughly sketched man who sits strapped to a chair, his frightened face awash with anguish.
Well, that's concerning.
Yeah.
But Christian's attention is quickly diverted when the light fixtures suddenly start to flicker overhead, an electrical crackle rattling throughout the room and into the adjacent kitchen, where an unsettled Audrey Rainier, played by Tessa Ferrer, stands at the sink, peering up at the blinking bulbs above the dining table.
Tessa Ferrer, she was in 9 episodes of Mr. Mercedes in 2018.
Hey!
Oh.
But Christian is overjoyed, calling out to his father that they're frying someone, before lifting his eyes to the ceiling to address that unfortunate inmate. You're on the Hades Express, mister! It's like, where did you learn that?
Yeah.
I know.
So I'm a little concerned. We need to talk to Elise. If art is how she processes, that's fantastic. But we need to be having conversations here. But Christian to be like, and another one bites the dust.
Yeah, he was a little happy.
Maybe we intervene on that a little.
Gerald calmly scolds his son into silence, flatly intoning that death is nothing to celebrate, no matter who it is. But we arc around Elise on the floor, who darkens the sketched shadows surrounding the executed prisoner, her small voice sharing that the man just died. His name was Wayne Fisher, and he was 32 years old. He was executed because he killed a lady with a hammer. She says that he had a ribeye for his last meal, and that he's been on death row at Dew Bend for 3 years. Audrey and Gerald exchange a glance at each other across the pass-through between the rooms as Elise reveals Fisher's last words. Go to hell. Christian wonders how Elise could know that, and she explains to her brother that it's just in her head. But this prompts Gerald to rise from his chair, ire within his eyes as he stares at the back of his daughter's head. But before he can say a word, Audrey enters the room to spare Elise, corralling her children for bedtime.
I'm like, of course, Dad's fucking mad at that.
No,
like, the heights
What?
We get like Stephen King parent
Yeah.
energy.
Yeah.
Kind of moving forward, and it's like, okay, dude, like, I don't know, just a little bit of nuance would
Yeah.
Uh,
have been nice.
Yeah, because you can tell he's going to suck right away.
Yes.
It's like, oh, all right. And I'll be honest, she's not like too young to where I would be like, oh, you're making up whatever.
No.
I believe whatever you're saying right
Yes.
now.
Uh-huh.
Like that was, there's no way you knew any of that.
No. And that's just too specific. But as well, even if she is making it up, it is pretty wild that she's like, and his last words were, go to hell. And everyone's like, yeah, I'm just watching Joseph Stalin. And
Again, a conversation with your kid, right? That's the key.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's the first key. As the kids exit to brush their teeth, Audrey and Gerald lock eyes distantly, wordlessly, the chatter on the television proposing poignant prose. And history always repeats, my friends. The ghosts of their past will soon become our present if we do not confront them head on.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, all right, that's very good. If we only hear it once.
Yeah.
But the siblings head up the stairs and through the hall, hand in hand, to reach their bedroom, where the pair stands stunned at a sight that rests before them on the center of the floor. A cluttered collection of toys, dolls, and books, which are stacked in a staggered and precarious pile. If it was just simply them being stacked on top of each other, I'd be like, yeah, whatever. But they're stacked at the edges to where if just a little bit of space different, they fall down.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But Audrey follows close behind, admonishing her daughter and reminding her that she told her to put all of this stuff away. She picks up a couple of toys to the side of the heap, upset that Elise didn't listen to her. But when Elise insists that it wasn't her who made this mess, Audrey asks who did instead. I love Lee Winnell.
Mm-hmm.
He's canonically my best friend.
Yeah.
But there are some lines like this that are just slightly odd or off.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking about a child who is claiming to have not done this.
Yeah.
And her reply to her mom is, it wasn't me who made this mess. And it comes off a little weird.
And it is piled together.
It is.
It's not spread around the floor. I mean, I guess you kind of did pick up.
Right?
It's like, that's where it goes now.
Yeah.
But when Audrey asks who did make this mess, her only answer is silence, which prompts her to tell Christian to close the bedroom door so that they can discuss this without their father overhearing them. In this new privacy, Audrey leans down in front of her daughter with a soft assurance that Elise can tell her. Elise's eyes search for the truth before settling upon it. It was the little boy. He lived here a long time ago and he loves playing with our toys. She swears it, and Audrey believes her. She tells Elise that she's been blessed with a gift and that she's special. She confides that some people are afraid of special people, and Elise's father is one of them. She says that Gerald doesn't understand her gifts and suggests for her to just keep it between them from now on. Elise agrees with a small smile as Christian stands poorly hidden behind a door jamb, listening intently to their conversation before immediately tucking into a comic book.
At least she has her.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. I just can't. I guess in your own fear. But if he works at the prison, doesn't he know that the things she's saying are true?
Yeah.
Yeah, he should.
So I guess the what do you call it? Like the cognitive dissonance of like, that's not in my belief system, even though it's right in front of me. But I don't know. It's just, it annoys me.
No, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I get it.
And it's like, that's your kid. She's still figuring shit out and trying to navigate it too.
Mm-hmm.
And to just be like, well, don't tell your I don't know. It's just like, what's happening in this house?
Yeah.
And all of this, again, there's a lot of discussions about the things that go on and what is actually in control.
Mm-hmm.
But so far, as we are in this film, this is all Gerald.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it's not as if something is clouding his judgment or making him think or see things differently.
Right.
That's not going on yet.
Yeah.
And I also never got closure because I was trying to look up. I was like, what is his job at the prison?
Yeah, I couldn't figure it out.
Some people online said that he was just a guard. And some people said that he was the co-executioner.
Oh, well, shouldn't he be up there then?
Well,
Yeah, see,
he's
that's-
the co. It's his day off.
Oh, I almost thought he was like the warden or something.
Oh, that's right. Well, that was another thing other people said. They said he, I don't know why. They said he was the co-warden.
Yeah.
I was like, they just really want him to be working part-time. I don't know.
Yeah, I was gonna say, he's still something.
Yeah.
People do come home.
Exactly. It's
they
not
work full-time.
24/7.
I feel like warden would track if they're living in this house
See,
right next to it.
that's why I thought. because
Absolutely.
You could see the warden's house
Or
where
co-
I was
co-warden.
at. But yeah, the
Yeah,
co-warden.
the co-warden. But that would make a lot more sense.
Right.
Yeah.
Audrey and Elise wrap their arms around each other in a tender embrace before Audrey bids her children goodnight, approaching the door and turning off the light. A fearful Christian, who now occupies the top bunk, cries out into the dark for his mother not to turn off the light. Audrey then crosses over to her son, switching on a nearby lamp and soothing him with its soft luminescence. She tells Christian that she's just going to be right outside, and she reminds him of what she told him. If he gets scared, what's he supposed to do? Christian reaches instinctively for a whistle that hangs on a chain around his neck, his mother commending his memory. She gave him that so that if he ever gets scared, he can go. Audrey lightly blows into the whistle, a trio of high-pitched tones sounding from each soft exhale. Christian smiles as she hands it back to him, promising her son that wherever she is, she'll come running. But she cautions him to save it for when he really needs her, and Christian agrees reluctantly, tucking the whistle back beneath the collar of his pajamas. Audrey smiles warmly at her children, the light of the lamp shining within her eyes as she tells them that she loves them, Elise and Christian returning her affections as she exits their bedroom. Christian settles into his blankets up top, as down below, Elise does the same, shrouded safely behind a pair of curtains on the bottom bunk.
I like this moment because it's such a stark contrast, and I guess she has to be, between what we've already experienced of, what's his name, Gerald?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it is like she's doing the best that she can to kind of counteract his brutishness.
Okay.
And this establishment of Christian kind of being a little bit scared and this safety net that they kind of have in place. I think it's cute.
I agree, and especially with how we're setting up something to come.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I will say that her demeanor and the way of which she is saying everything that she says, I was immediately worried for her.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
No,
Yes.
there's a lot of foreshadowing.
Yeah.
She has one day left to retirement.
Yes. But downstairs in the living room, Gerald sits drinking, his trembling hand lifting a glass of liquor to his lips as he continues to watch television. Audrey tends once more to the dishes in the kitchen sink, finding her husband in a glance. But back upstairs, Elise whispers to her brother as she reads in her bunk by the beam of a flashlight. Discovering that he isn't asleep yet, Elise asks him if he ever thinks about the people who go to the electric chair. The boy answers with a slow whisper of his own. Sometimes. I was like, all right.
So I don't know Christian very well. But does he always sound like a ghost? And also, can we have this conversation in the daytime, Elise?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Say, hey, can we talk about something real scary really fast?
Right as you're drifting off to sleep.
Elise's flashlight points to the bottom of her brother's mattress, inquiring if Christian ever thinks about where they go after it's done. But the boy doesn't wonder about that. He whispers that he knows where they go. They go into the dark. Elise's flashlight suddenly goes out, her brother's bed creaking above her as she tries incessantly and to no avail to turn the flashlight back on. She parts the curtains at the side of her bunk bed, peering out into the darkness of her bedroom, where she finds Christian, fast asleep in a chair at the corner of the room. Her small voice quavers her brother's name, but she's unable to rouse him from his sleep, and so she steps slowly out of her bed to ascend the ladder at the side of the bunk. She climbs up, rung by rung, until she reaches the top bunk, her eyes tracing a lump that lies beneath her brother's blankets. She steels herself to reach her palm to the comforter and flattens it against the mattress. Christian awakens in the chair, calling out to his sister to ask what she's doing. But before Elise can answer, a little boy darts behind her in the dark, accompanied by a sting of strings within the score and a burst of boisterous laughter.
When did he get in the chair?
I guess he climbed back down. Like, it's hot as hell up there. I don't know. There's no...
Yeah, we just had that touching moment, and then now he's asleep in the chair.
He can physically project himself.
Yeah.
Okay.
Everybody's got their
asleep.
power.
He went the other way with it.
Yeah.
I think what's wild to me, again, is that as a child, it makes way more sense because he is very fearful.
Right.
It makes way more sense to be in a bed with a blanket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I understand we needed this scare to work.
Right.
And it so far, it's fairly successful.
Yeah, yeah.
It's not bad. Yeah.
Elise descends the ladder, entering the adjacent room, unafraid and in search of the boy. Christian cowers behind her, shivering her name as he stands in the doorway, watching fearfully as Elise creeps deeper into the dark. She reaches an opened closet in the corner of the room, the clothes inside swaying slightly from unseen motion, the tinkling of wire hangers greeting Elise with their small song. She speaks into the shadows inside. "You made all the mess, didn't you?" She's met with a whispered reply from deep inside. "Yes."
Oh.
At least he's copping to it.
Yeah.
This is more than enough for Christian, though, who bolts from the doorway to dive through the curtains and into the bottom bunk bed. He struggles to catch his breath, reaching desperately for the whistle that Audrey gave to him, only to find that it isn't there. Elise extends her arm to point in front of her, telling her brother that the boy is in the closet. She returns her attention to the spirit, promising him that it's okay. They won't hurt him. But when she asks him to come on out, Christian pleads desperately through the slat in the curtains for Elise to stop it. But Elise persists, holding a gentle hand to the darkness of the closet, bidding the boy once more to come out. But as the camera presses into the space between the hanging shirts, the boy offers her an unsettling answer. "I'm not in the closet."
I don't know why, because it doesn't really make any sense narratively, but I was expecting, and was anybody else expecting the little boy from the first one?
Oh, okay.
I don't know if it's because it's a similar wardrobe.
Right.
The tiptoe through the tulips.
Yeah, the one that was dancing and yeah.
He was dressed like the 50s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He
That's
was.
really
And I was
good.
like, oh, this is his origin.
It's like, man, we're answering
knocking it out.
everything. An eerie air suddenly surrounds Elise, but it's from behind Christian that the boy appears, his white eyes shining in the dark as he clutches the whistle in his grasp, its high-pitched squeal prompting Christian's scream, which travels downstairs and into the living room. I don't understand the design of this boy. I don't know if you saw what he looks like in the dark.
Uh-huh.
He almost... You guys remember Strong Bad?
Dude. That's kind of exactly what it was.
Right?
Yes.
I didn't understand. I don't know why they didn't go with something that we know.
Right.
Was it supposed to be a toy?
I
don't know. The redness or the color of it, I think we were all thinking the same thing.
Hoping.
That it was a return of a beloved.
Yes, no, yeah. That's what I thought.
Yeah, but no, if you look, it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Me neither.
Maybe he's got to fight later.
I don't know. It's like, is that Deadpool? But without hesitation, Gerald marches his way up the stairs, a wooden cane gripped in his furious fist as he forces the kid's bedroom door open. Audrey trails behind, begging her husband to leave their daughter alone when he immediately charges. "What have you done, Elise?" He tears the curtain open to find Elise and Christian clinging to each other fearfully on the bottom bunk, tears streaming down Elise's face.
Okay, and I know we don't know the history of the way that things go in this family, but as a parent, I think that when you hear a scream like this, I guess it's not the middle of the night, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
My first, I don't understand how the first emotion that you feel is anger.
Right.
And to be like, oh, God damn it, Elise, like, why I would be afraid. I mean, you live on the grounds of a prison.
Yeah.
Like, I would be on high alert. She's already saying, whether I want to believe it or not, some weird supernatural shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know. I guess, nitpick this dad all day long. But just the fact that you ran up there mad.
Yeah.
And I think of how he's finding his children.
Yes.
Right. Yeah.
They're huddled together in fear. Elise is crying. Christian looks fine. Weird, oddly. So it's like, what happened?
Yeah. Yeah. I think that is what really annoyed me too, was about that. He's not going up there to check and then getting angry. He's just like, oh, I'm beating someone's ass.
Yeah. It's like, what?
Gerald orders Elise out of the bed with a shout, instructing her to put her hands against the wall as he leans down next to her, inquiring right into her ear. "Did you see a ghost?" Audrey stands blurry in the background, imploring her husband to stop it, but Elise answers her father honestly. She did. Gerald reaches for Elise, turning her to face him and insisting that he doesn't want to hurt her. All she has to do is just say no. Her small face in the palm of his hand, Gerald explains that he's going to ask her one more time. Did she see a ghost? Elise crumbles into tears, refusing to amend her response. Yes, she did. They're all around them in this house. They're everywhere. Gerald's eyes go unfocused as his hand falls from Elise's face, his daughter turning away from him to once again face the wall in front of her. As his large hands force her palms to the wallpaper, Audrey cries out from the door that he doesn't have to do this, that Elise is just a little girl. Elise herself begs for her father's mercy, but instead receives a harsh thwack of his cane against her back. Gerald then lifting her into his arms and throwing her over his shoulder.
I would go on to ask this question a couple times as this movie goes on, but this is the first instance of, is this a little dark for an Insidious movie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just kind of surprised because we've never seen anything like this.
No. I was like, dude, you fucking caned the shit out of that kid.
Yes, it's
Even
terrible.
if it was once, it's like, what are you doing?
It makes me think of how we talked about the Black Phone.
Yeah.
Yes.
Where it's like, what you have in store as far as supernatural scares pale in comparison to the reaction that is caused by something like this.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
And I mean, it seems to be that was partially their intention, wanting to kind of explore more of a family drama with tinges of horror.
Okay.
Rather than it just being an outright horror film like the first two films were, for example.
Yeah. I think it's successful in that vein and like continuing with themes of like real life horror versus, I think that that's very successful. Just watching it kind of with a blank slate, I was just surprised that they took it here. Yeah. Because I mean, in the franchise, kids are in peril constantly, but it's not like this.
Yeah, no.
Oddly, it is the like supernatural demons and things like this are somehow much easier and much more palatable.
Yeah.
Totally.
Oh yeah.
But it's that adage that they always say about the real monsters being among us rather than
in the further.
Right.
Rather than that is something that I do appreciate. And another reason why I am kind of confused why this film didn't hit for me the way that it on paper should have is that exploration of kind of the duality of human being cruelty versus, there's demons that we can't see, and there's the further. It's just such a harder pill to swallow, which everyone knows that I do like.
Yeah.
And introducing that to a franchise that has relegated its horrors to supernatural. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess Parker Crane, maybe that's not true.
Well,
but this just hits on another level. Maybe it's because it's I don't know, or because it's a kid.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. I just feel like we're introducing this, and then, like you were saying, I don't know if we get enough of what's really driving this. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think that's kind of why it becomes unsatisfying.
Yeah.
Because it seems that, at least the way, and we're getting ahead of ourselves, but the way that everything kind of wraps up, it doesn't necessarily reconcile the things that happened previously.
Yeah.
Before it became a matter of demons getting involved.
Right.
There's more to it than just that portion. And it seems like we never really get there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Audrey beseeches her husband, willing to suffer the consequences in place of her daughter. But Gerald just forces her into the hall by her shoulder, pushing past her to descend the staircase. He snarls, "Don't tell me how to punish her, Audrey. I punish people for a living." Now,
A little clunky.
yeah. This, and again, I love Lee Winnell.
Yeah.
But it does bring me back to some of the dialogue that we talked about in Insidious Chapter 2. I don't know if you remember whenever somebody slammed something onto Parker Crane, who was Josh,
Yeah.
onto his hand, and he goes, "Oh, real pain. I've missed it. But not much as I've missed inflicting it upon others." Like, all right.
You're doing a little too much.
But Gerald carries a sobbing Elise downstairs, her desperate protests futile as they reach the door to the cellar. Gerald wrenches it open, settling Elise down at the top of the steps and promptly closing the door in her weeping face and sliding the lock into place. Speaking through the wooden slats and over his daughter's cries, Gerald gives a callous ultimatum. Elise can either follow his rules and sleep under his roof, or she can break them and sleep under his floor.
What rule did she break?
Yeah.
Seeing a ghost or not lying about having seen a ghost?
I guess it was simply talking about ghosts.
Okay.
Because he said, literally, he knows that she's seeing them.
Right.
And doesn't seem to care.
Yeah.
All that he cares about
Just
is
don't
that it's...
talk about it.
Exactly.
Yeah. Maybe we should talk about it, though, dude. You look kind of unhappy.
Yeah. There's something going on
Yeah.
here.
Elise falls to pieces, pleading with her father not to leave her alone down there, pressing her eye to the sliver of light through the door as Gerald departs without a word. She sniffles, exhaling a shaky breath as she turns to face the darkness that lies within the depths beyond the stairs. She inches her way down, a low creak accompanying each uncertain step. But when she reaches the bottom, she locates a generator, rotating the lever with great effort to turn it on, the small machine chugging to life as the light bulbs above her flicker on. In the low light, Elise paces through the expansive space, her eyes climbing a section of shelves to discover a gas mask hanging on a high perch. And this, I understand, is, they discuss it later, I think this is supposed to be like a bomb shelter, this cellar.
Oh, okay.
But seeing the gas mask, it made me think of that contraption from the first film.
Yeah.
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 And I didn't know if it was maybe, again, just a sly little nod.
Right.
I like that.
Okay. I will say, though, you're down here. You put your child down here. She turned on the generator. You didn't hear that? That was loud. And there's live wires hanging everywhere.
Yeah. He's like, she's finding her way. She lives in the storm basement now.
So.
I don't know.
But a loud knock from the generator startles her, the machine malfunctioning and causing every light above her to burn out. The voice of a child then encircles her, calling out through the shadows in an eerie echo. "Are you scared of the dark?" Elise bravely asks who's there, the voice offering a laugh before extending a kind comfort. Don't be afraid. I can make it light. And suddenly, a blinding beam of light shines through the keyhole of a large door across the cellar, illuminating Elise and casting its outline against the wall behind her to loom large over her shoulder. Elise inches her way closer, this bright beam shrinking against her steady steps as she lowers her eye to its source to peer through it. Through the red rust of the keyhole lies an expansive room, stretching into seeming eternity, a layer of fog lingering listlessly over the floor, and twin rows of symmetrical lamps lining and lighting this liminal location into a distant dark. The child's voice returns. Why are you down here? Elise tells the voice through tears that her father put her down here, and the child answers judgmentally that Elise's daddy doesn't treat her right. But the voice promises that if Elise will just open the door, then there will be lots of light. The child's voice is then overtaken by distorted, overlapping whispers. It's probably fine.
Yeah, so that's my thing. I really would have loved if the child's voice wasn't so obviously evil.
Yeah.
Like if this was actually something that could trick you.
Mm-hmm.
Because in her moment of, and I guess, she's desperate, she's a kid, whatever, but it's like, you have experience with this to a point.
Yeah.
And what you just experienced upstairs, I feel like she would be at least a little suspicious.
Mm-hmm.
And this voice is like, no, come on. Like, it's very like, oh, you're evil.
Yeah. But the ghost's not trying to hit you with the cane.
No.
Fair point.
But
Take my chances in the mystery wall.
Even so, he seemed pretty chill upstairs until he turned into that luchador thing. Like, he seems to be here to scare me.
Yeah.
He scared the shit out of Christian.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know why we're listening to him at all.
Yeah.
But the voice implores, go on, open it. Instructing Elise that there's a key hanging up right next to her, allowing her to take her time. It can wait. Elise is the only one who can open the door. Elise finds the key, hanging solitarily on a hook just to her left, and as she slides it off into her hand, the voice explains that Elise is far more powerful than she knows, and that it wants her help to open all the doors. And with that, Elise slides the key into the lock, twisting it slightly to the right and stepping backwards with a shuddering breath. The key suddenly twists on its own before it's promptly spat out of the keyhole to clatter against the concrete floor. Elise gasps sharply as the door slowly creaks open, and through the crack reaches a frail, misshapen hand, which reaches disjointedly for the dropped key. The key settles into a recess at the figure's thumb, locking into place. The horrific hand extends, a small key protruding from each ashen finger as it traces the outline of the rusted door, sparks emitting with the sinister screech as it scrapes across the metal and reaches the top of the door.
That can't be good.
No.
You sounded a lot smaller than that.
Yeah.
The door then opens wider to reveal Elise, her eyes rolled back to whites as she stands there trembling. A low rumble emanates from the cellar, reaching the floor above and startling Audrey out of her seat at the dining room table. She makes her way over to the living room to take a peek over at Gerald, who has dozed off in his chair in front of the television. But we then find the beam of Audrey's flashlight guiding her down into the cellar, where she finds Elise all alone in the dark, facing an empty wall where the rusted door once stood. The generator suddenly kicks into gear again, the lights returning overhead, and its loud rattle awakening Gerald upstairs in his chair. Audrey arcs her flashlight around the cellar to center once more on Elise, But unbeknownst to Audrey, a frayed wire slithers down from the ceiling, coiling silently around her throat until it tightly seizes her, lifting her off of her feet. She kicks uselessly for purchase, her fingers clawing at the taut wire as she gasps harshly for air, unfocused behind Elise, who stands in her unshaken trance. Audrey's body goes limp as her life slips away, and by the time Gerald emerges around the corner, it's far too late to save her.
It's like, holy shit.
Yeah.
One thing I will say that surprised me a lot is Robitel was talking about how all of the Insidious films are rated PG-13, which is something that really surprises me.
Yeah.
But he said that one of the only things that they had to cut down in order to make it work, aside from, I guess, all the profanity that he wanted to use, was this section of Audrey's death. He said it was a lot more violent in the original. I was like, why?
God damn.
You didn't
What
get
did
enough?
Audrey
I know.
The wire loosens around Audrey's neck as she collapses to the floor, and Elise matches her movements as whatever had hold of her finally lets her go as well. Agony overwhelms Gerald as he reaches his wife's side, cradling her in his arms, as Elise rises to meet her father's tearful gaze with her own. She trembles in apology, but Gerald's only reply is a pained scream, which rips sharply through him and wakes an adult Elise Rainier, played by Lynn Shay, from her nightmarish memory, on-screen text accompanying her awakening as we arrive in the present day. California, 2010.
God damn, Elise.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
That was a rough opening.
Yeah. Lynn Shay, we talked about her on Nightmare on Elm Street, Critters, Insidious, Insidious Chapter 2, and Insidious Chapter 3.
Of course.
Just the best.
Yeah. No, she's fantastic.
But a pensive piano plays as Elise rolls out of bed, settling her feet on the floorboards and opening a drawer at her bedside table to retrieve her spirit journal. She flips through the pages, which are filled with scribbles from past readings and cases, sketches of frightening faces, and a page with cursive script spelling out the name, Quinn Brenner. I was like, that's great.
Yeah.
Because wasn't it from a nightmare that she woke up in the third film that she scribbled the name in the page?
I believe so.
Yeah.
You guys
also
I'm not 100%.
very
Okay.
susceptible to Scooter Michelle coloring
Yeah.
myself. So
No, I get it.
I believe, but I think so.
And it regardless, however it ended up on this page,
Yes, yeah.
it gives a really cool bit of continuity because there's barely anything after that page.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But beyond this page, we finally find a frail and foreboding figure with a skeletal face and an outstretched hand of keys at the end of each finger. Elise snags a pen, posing a question within the margins of her drawing. Give me the key? She slams the journal shut, stashing it back into her drawer with a heavy sigh before stepping out of bed to begin her day.
So that's creepy as hell.
Yeah.
And as much as I do appreciate the creature design on this new big bad, I am heavily considering a lawsuit.
Yeah. Well, it'll be class action because Nay and I created this character.
We did. We were very young. We made a whole comic book. So we planned to
We thought about making a whole comic book. We were in the preliminary.
we were in the planning stages. But it was it was like a superhero team. And one of those members of this team could grow her nails into like a skeleton key of some sort.
Oh, okay.
So you could never confine her. It could fit in any lock, whatever. And do you want to share the brilliantly thought out name of this character?
Her name was Keyfinger,
It was.
but I feel even so,
It's better.
it's better than this motherfucker's name, who is a ripoff of our.
Yeah, no, a blatant ripoff at that. Sometimes it'd be your own best friend. Clearly.
I know.
Clearly.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
That's right.
He's like, what you got there?
Crikey, that's a good one. It's like, Lee, no.
No. That's ours.
Stay woke. Watch your back.
Yeah.
Copyright your shit when you're fucking 7 and 8
12 or
or
something. I don't know. I am also a little perplexed at what she wrote on her drawing.
Yeah.
Because that wasn't a part of the memory at all.
No.
Yeah, no.
But Elise bids Warren, her uncredited dog, a good morning with a scratch at his belly, confiding in him that the dreams are coming back and that they just won't go away. But she proposes an idea, breakfast in bed, and Warren offers a low whine of seeming approval. But his graying fur inspires Elise to comment, "You're getting old, little Warren. We both are."
Aw.
Yeah.
This moment is very sweet, and I don't want to undercut it with what I'm about to say.
Mm-hmm.
But I do want to say something very quickly. The last time that we saw Elise in Chapter 3, the lipstick-faced demon laid out her husband's vest on the bed. And he leapt out of the shadows to scare the shit out of us and no one else, because I guess Elise is fine and nothing has happened since then.
I
Okay.
I guess. Yeah, I guess.
I feel as though they thought that Chapter 3 would lead directly into Chapter 1
Yeah.
and didn't expect to take it so immediately into this section of time, though it seems that Lee Winnell wanted to.
Yeah.
Huh.
So I don't know if maybe there would be originally or at the beginning stages maybe something with the lipstick-faced demon first.
Right.
And maybe kind of give a little backstory there where Elise has tussled with him previously.
I would
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that.
But instead we have a different tale with a different demon.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess, I don't know. I don't know. You can't really do that because then when she's describing the drawing, she would be like, "It's that motherfucker that we fought back,
that's
back
true.
in 2010.
Yeah, that's true.
Inspector Tucker like, oh yeah, that's right.
So I guess you can't.
Yeah, fuck.
But at the cluttered dining table in the other room, Elise joins Specs, played by Lee Winnell, who huddles over his laptop in his colorful skull-patterned pajamas.
Lee Winnell, we talked about him in Saw 3, Insidious Chapter 2, and Insidious Chapter 3.
We love him.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is, I think, about time to get back into the Saw franchise.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's been
Yeah.
long enough.
Specs shares excitedly that he's been poring over the footage from their last investigation in the church basement, and they missed something. He says that there's movement in the frame. Elise peers down at the small screen, the homepage of the Spectral Sightings website, which houses an embedded video. But upon closer inspection, Elise is certain that it's just a piece of lint. Specs obviously insists otherwise, but the pair are interrupted by the arriving and magnificently mulleted Tucker, played by Angus Sampson, who affixes some kind of device to the light fixture in the foyer.
Angus Sampson, we talked about him in Darkness Falls, Insidious Chapter 2, and Insidious Chapter 3.
Love him. Love them.
Yes.
This is just such a good feeling to see all of them together.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know, there's something very comforting about it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Tucker proudly announces, "Behold." And with Elise's and Specs' attention, he then explains the reason that he was up all night last night. The lights. And at this mere utterance, the entire house dips to darkness, Tucker boasting that it is in fact voice activated. No more dealing with those pesky switches, having to find them in the dark, straining fingers as you switch them on. Specs snarks that, yeah, that was a real problem before. But Tucker implores his cohort to toil in the darkness of sarcasm as he prefers to work in the lights. But his voice and dramatic flourish don't have the effect that he assumed that they would, even when he repeats himself and shouts. He shrugs it off as bad acoustics, leaving Elise to reach for the drapes to let the natural light in, which she says is far better for the environment anyway. The sunlight shines in through the window as Elise addresses Specs and Tucker, glad that both of them are staying with her now in the house, but she instructs them not to try to fix anything else that isn't broken. Tucker then unhands the light fixture, following Elise's order as it sways above his and Specs' heads. But we climb the spires of the fence outside of Elise's home, settling in on its familiar exterior surrounded by lush greenery, as inside, Specs answers a ringing telephone. Spectral sightings? But upon learning that the phone is for Elise, he quickly hands the receiver off to her, where she's greeted by the low voice of Ted Garza, played by Kirk Acevedo.
Kirk Acevedo? He was in 13 episodes of The Black Donnellys in 2007 and 27 episodes of Arrow from 2017 to 2019.
His character, I will say, on the first watch, I was like, oh, wow. And on the second watch, I was like, how did I not?
Yeah. Peppered throughout my notes as, I don't know about this.
He's a little nervous.
A little bit.
After making introductions and breezing past pleasantries, Ted explains that there are things happening in his house, and he's heard that Elise knows about that kind of thing. Elise agrees that she knows some things.
She gives a sly look.
Yeah.
It really made me think of when we did Annabelle Comes Home and Ed was like, or something. It's like, dude,
Why are you doing that?
stop with the inside jokes.
He's like, I really need your help.
Yeah. Are you there?
Yeah.
Hello.
She's too busy winking at Specs. But she smiles at Specs, who trails behind her in seeming anticipation of a new case. But through the speaker, Ted stutters that he was wondering if she could take a look. He really needs her help. Elise politely asks Ted where he lives, snagging a pencil and a pad to jot it down dutifully as he shares his address. 414 Apple Tree Road, 5 Keys, New Mexico. In the midst of writing this down, Elise stops, the lead snapping against the page as her eyes widen with recognition. And it's at that moment that Elise makes her decision. She apologizes to Mr. Garza, thankful that he thought of her enough to call, but she sighs regretfully that she can't help him. She rushes off of the telephone, retiring to the privacy of her room where she settles into a somber seat at the edge of her bed. Overcome, Elise wipes a weary hand across her forehead before removing her shirt, and within a nearby mirror, we discover the scars from her father's cane forever etched into the flesh of her back.
Jesus.
Yeah. I was a little confused here because I feel like Elise would have known this was a sign or would have something. You just had this dream.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? This is the next day, and then you're just like, nope, never mind.
That's
why are you
true.
doing that?
There is a deleted scene right after she gets off the phone where Specs is like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
He's like, why aren't we taking this case? He says it's been months since Quinn Brenner. He's like, we need this.
Yeah.
And I don't know why he says that because it's not like they're getting paid or anything.
He's like, no, just morally.
Yeah.
We got to give back.
Exactly. I like helping people. But Elise tells him to drop it. She's like, I don't want to explain why, but we're not doing it.
See, at least that it's like, are you afraid we get something out of this? It's I mean, we do get a little bit of that here, but it just seems more, I don't know. It's more sad or something. I'm like, I don't know why. We had the dream. You wrote in the book. You sketched out whatever. This, I feel like she would have been like, it's time.
Well, because where did you encounter this thing?
Yeah.
And then you're getting a call the next day
Yes.
calling you back there. So, yeah.
There is also another deleted scene before the scene that we see next, and it kind of bridges the gap between her clearly saying no and then the choice that she eventually makes.
Okay.
She's in her bed at night, and haunted situations start to happen, and it eventually leads her on this kind of a strange venture around the house.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually, at the end of it, she encounters Keyfinger. And she's locked in a laundry room. And Specs and Tucker hear her scream, and they wake up and they rescue her out of the laundry room. And then that leads directly to the
To
scene.
this scene.
Yes.
Okay.
That fits
Yeah,
so much better.
okay,
Yeah, they
okay.
should have left that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know why they cut it because it does feel a little disjointed for her to be like, no way in hell we're doing this. And then the next scene, she's like, all right, guys.
Yeah.
But later that night, we find Elise at the dining room table, having dragged Specs and Tucker out of their beds to discuss the call from earlier in the day. She explains that the man on the telephone told her that he lives in the house that Elise grew up in. And through sniffles, she adds that she calls it a house because it wasn't a home. Her voice quavers with emotion as she confesses that she doesn't have memories of that place. She has scars. And fidgeting nervously with her own fingers, she reveals that this gift that she has that Specs and Tucker are so in awe of, her father tried to beat it out of her. And her mother, she was killed in that house, murdered by something that Elise brought into this world. Specs and Tucker lend a sympathetic ear as Elise elaborates that this demon wants to use her abilities, and it'll hurt the ones that she loves just to get to her. She explains that this is why she never wants to go into the further like she did for Quinn. She says that she spent her entire life fighting these things because she can never forget the look on her mother's face when she died. But resolve reaching her, Elise knows that she has to help the man who called them because she knows exactly what he's up against. But when Specs offers to pack up the van so they can get an early start in the morning, Elise insists, not this time. This one she has to do alone.
I was like, why, Elise?
I know.
Yeah.
And I will say again with that deleted scene, her saying something like, I know exactly what he's up against.
Mm-hmm.
I think that would work better for us as an audience if we literally just saw what he's up against.
Yeah.
You know? But that next morning, Elise gathers her things to exit her house, suitcases in hand as she descends the steps of her front porch. And after offering a wistful glance back to her home, she tosses her belongings into the back of her car.
Robitel had said, I thought this was interesting because he was talking about the collaboration that he had between himself and Lin Shaye and kind of telling the story because she was so in tune with the character of Elise. He said that originally they had a Prius as her car and that Lin Shaye was like, Elise would not drive this. And so he listened to her and they changed it to what she's driving here.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was like, I love that. I love when directors are that open to collaboration that someone can be. And it's like, that is her character. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But she can just be like, nah. And he's like, okay.
But a low rumble emanates from behind her, tires screeching as she spots a large black vehicle approaching around the curved road and through the surrounding trees. It's an RV with the ghostly logo for spectral sightings emblazoned on its side. It pulls to a stop just behind Elise's car, and we spy her through the glass of the vehicle's massive windshield. Her eyes climb the front of it, past the personalized license plate, which reads, Spexter.
It's great.
And we find Tucker, who leans out of the driver's side window, suggesting that they have to come with her now. This costs them $700. Specs leans out of the passenger's side, adding to that total. Plus $200 for the logo paint job. It's like, God damn.
The passenger side of his best friend's right.
Yeah, literally.
I thought this was so cute.
Yeah.
Because they're like, we're not fucking letting you do this by yourself.
Yeah.
But also, I don't know if it's just because things are progressing so rapidly, but I was like, we are motoring through the setup to this film.
Yeah.
It was funny to me that they just, I guess, rented the RV today and got it painted, but they do have a personalized license plate. Yeah. It's like they rushed that.
And we could have done this in a van, man.
Yeah.
Could have.
Well, we're living large. We want to have a place to... They settle back into their seats, Tucker honking the horn as Elise stands before them, clearly moved by their gesture and the fact that she won't have to do this by herself. The RV speeds down the open road, beneath the cloudy sky and past a large highway sign welcoming travelers to the state of New Mexico, the land of enchantment. Elise sits nervously in the passenger seat, eyeing the utility poles that line the road through her window, a hum of electricity heard through their stretching wires. And I know this is obviously directly linked to what happened to her mother, but the electricity really is a motif that is prevalent throughout this entire film.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it ties back to the electric chair, firstly.
Oh, okay.
But it is such a part of the big bad's arsenal as well.
Yeah.
They finally reach the town of 5 Keys, but this sign is far dingier than the one before, the motto barely legible through the age and the dirt. Will unlock your heart.
Mm-hmm.
Follow your heart. They drive past a roadside cafe, heading straight toward the task at hand, dust rising from the RV's tires as they enter the opened gate to the front of the complex, following the unpaved road past the now abandoned penitentiary, up the hill, and finding a proper parking place in front of the house that rests on top of it.
I just am wondering how Garza came into possession of this home.
Yeah, that's a good question.
It almost feels like a setup.
It does. I'm going to be completely honest with you. My working theory for a while was that Garza was a ghost.
Yeah. Dude, I get it 100%. I do. Because otherwise I'm like, what the hell is this?
Yeah.
Elise is the first to exit the RV, and though her trepidation is palpable, she presses on, standing before the brick exterior of her childhood home. The sight of it is deceptively innocuous, the structure unassuming to those unaware of the horrible history housed within its walls. But as Specs and Tucker join Elise in their spectral sightings merch, she instructs the pair that before they head inside, she brought some clothes for them to change into. She says that some of it belonged to Jack, and it's very important to her. When the front door of the house swings open, Ted Garza is not only met with Elise's warm smile, but the properly dressed Specs and Tucker, finally rocking their now signature white button-up shirts and black ties.
This was very cute.
It was.
So it's nitpicky to be like, was Jack
also
startlingly different heights throughout his life?
They're like, some of these suits Jack wore as a boy.
Yeah.
And also, I'm like, did Elise go back inside to get these? Because she wasn't expecting them to be together.
I was like, that really undercuts the RV surprise.
She's like,
I knew you were coming. I knew you wouldn't leave me alone. Ted rejoices to see them, certain that he can guess who they are. And Elise answers that there's no need, introducing herself with a handshake, along with Specs and Tucker, her associates. Tucker takes a slow, possibly intimidating bite of an ice cream sandwich.
Yeah, I don't know.
But as he chews it, he offers an addendum. She's psychic, we're sidekick. Specs offers an approving point of his thumb to Tucker, but Ted doesn't get it. What's that?
Come on. We're leaving.
I know.
You don't deserve us.
No.
Because this was 10 out of 10.
Enjoy your haunting. Yeah. Tucker repeats, she's psychic, we're sidekick. Elise exchanges a nervous glance with Ted as Tucker chuckles. But somehow, Ted still doesn't grasp it. Tucker just tells him, never mind.
You wouldn't get it.
Yeah. He's the Joker. Yeah.
That would have turned me into the Joker.
Breezing past this bit of awkwardness, Ted invites them inside, Tucker ignoring his handshake for another bite of his ice cream sandwich. But Elise enters the house, her eyes absorbing the age of the intervening years. But she's still haunted by the memories of that horrific night in 1953. When she reaches the living room, where her father's chair still sits, the television broadcast on that night returns to her in a distant echo. And history always repeats, my friends. The ghosts of their past will soon become our present if we do not confront them head on.
Was everyone paying attention this time?
I was like, God damn it. Yeah. It was so good before. Elise can't believe that Ted held on to so much of her family's old stuff. And Ted explains that it was all here when he moved in, commenting that it's pretty good stuff and he didn't see any reason to get rid of it.
Or to clean it, or
Yeah.
That's why it's like this.
I'm a ghost.
Yes, yes. I do not look around this home and think that a human person with a pulse, lives here.
Yeah, I almost thought up until this point that was her brother's son.
Okay.
And because again, I get it. If I live alone, but it is that. If I come in there like, look, it's fully furnished, whatever. I'll clean. I'll take down the pictures. Yeah, the couch is fine. You know what I mean? The cabinets still look good. We'll just give them a good cleaning. I can put my own stuff up. But to have everything still there, it's like, oh, you're not even related to her.
It would also give a reason for him to be in this random abandoned house on the grounds of an abandoned pen.
Yes.
Like
yeah.
that I kind of like that, actually. And he would have the forethought to call Elise.
Right.
But Ted says that there are stories about Elise's family, though he never listened to them when they said that this house wasn't a place that he should live. When he looked at it, he just saw a little house. He said, screw the stories, and bought it. But now, he believes those stories.
Look, we're all seduced by the view of a positively haunted prison.
Yeah.
But you gotta use a little bit of, of common sense.
But when Elise enters the kitchen, a gold crucifix hangs over her shoulder on the wallpaper behind her, and whispers suddenly surround her, so much so that she has to put her fingers over her ears to stifle them. Specs wonders if Elise is getting anything, and Elise explains that there are so many spirits in this house that it's difficult to discern the good from the evil. She adds that a lot of people died in that prison. But she then turns her attention to Ted, asking when these occurrences started. Ted answers that it was as soon as he moved in. First, it was the little things. But Ted's voice fades away as Elise steps out of the kitchen and into the adjacent hall, her mother's voice echoing from a distant past. You were blessed with a gift. You're special. We'll just keep it between us from now on, okay? There was a small moment that I really appreciated because we see Specs taking notes and he's fidgeting with his collar because this is the first time he's ever worn a suit.
Oh, that's cute.
But as Elise steps deeper into the hall, the score suddenly shrieks at the sight of Gerald clutching Audrey in his arms as a mournful cry escapes him. Elise gasps at the sight of her parents, the pair disappearing back into her memory when Specs, Tucker, and Ted round the corner to check on her. Elise catches her breath, assuring the men that she's fine, but she asks Ted, these experiences that he's having, where do they mostly occur? Ted's eyes widen beneath the bill of his frayed cap, noting that it's mostly in one room. We climb a pile of dusty Bibles and various religious texts that rest upon a table which blocks a door upstairs. Ted explains that he keeps the door locked now and that he hasn't opened it in 3 months. Ted picks up a stack of books to make it easier to move the table, a red-binded Bible tumbling from the top and falling to the floor. When Tucker reaches to retrieve it for him, Ted snatches it up quickly, telling Tucker, I'll take that one, before tucking it under his arm. That was strange.
That was really weird. Also, it feels like a lot more than 3 months worth of cobwebs on these Bibles.
Yeah.
I'm like, you were never. You were not with us.
Okay.
No, that makes sense.
I was really
all right.
And the other thing, 3 months is a really odd timeline when we learn another timeline of something else that is happening right now in this house.
Okay.
But Ted and Specs drag the table out of the way of the door, allowing Ted to unlock it, creaking it open through cobwebs and inviting the crew inside. We see that the room is what used to be Elise and Christian's bedroom. Tucker is the first to enter, snapping photographs with his camera contraption, But Ted lingers in the hall, slipping the keys into his shirt pocket and admitting that he can't enter the room with them.
This reminded me of 1408.
Okay, yeah.
But being back in this room makes me wonder what happened to Christian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Specs, however, joins his colleague, along with the clearly shaken Elise, who paces the room, her eyes tracing the weathered belongings that used to be hers and her brother's. From the hallway, Ted explains that when it first started, he could hear somebody walking back and forth, someone who was talking to themselves. But tears fill Elise's eyes when she recognizes something next to the bunk beds. Small handprints stained darkly into the wallpaper.
My God.
Yeah.
Ted continues. You think you're going crazy, and then you actually hear it, and you know that you're not. But he says that finally one day he walked in and he screamed at it. You stop. Please stop. Specs scribbles away on his notepad, and Tucker lifts his eyes to meet Ted's, the homeowner explaining that his whole life savings are tied up in this place. They've got to help him. Please.
I feel like, and look, I get that. We moved from one apartment to another, and it was like, oh, wow, a moth fucking flew out of my pocket. Yeah, but you should probably reevaluate your Bible budget if things are that tight.
Yeah.
They're like, that guy's back again. 447 Bibles, please. But Elise's altruism overcomes her emotions as she assures Ted that that's what they do. A short time later, Tucker fits Elise for an earpiece, arming a camera at the neckline of her blouse, as Specs explains to Ted that the camera is so he and Tucker can see what Elise sees from out in the truck. Specs snorts. We call it the Reneé ghost. When no one laughs, Specs suggests that he should probably go there now.
Pearls before swine.
Why is nobody?
I'm leaving. Reneé ghost.
It's funny, but right now we're like...
No, it's funny.
Yeah.
We need the levity in the moment.
We've always got time to laugh. When night falls upon 5 Keys, we spy the house on the hill through the rotating mechanisms of the pump jack outside the penitentiary before finally returning inside. Ted joins Elise upstairs, the medium standing in the center of her old bedroom, as Ted inquires with concern from the hall. You're really going to stay here all alone? Elise explains that her presence tends to draw the spirits out of their dark little corners. And so Ted offers her a Bible, insisting that she take it with her, tossing it from the doorway before bidding her goodnight. But once Ted is gone, Elise just scoffs, setting the Bible aside on what used to be her brother's bed. And this was apparently one of the things that Robitel said that he was really appreciative of Leigh Whannell being on set for, is keeping faithful to the Insidious franchise rather than delving in what is kind of stereotypical for supernatural films.
Yeah.
And you realize, at least I did after reading that part of that interview, is the majority of supernatural films do delve into Judeo-Christian imagery, like The Conjuring does.
Yeah.
So many things like that's the solution to it is like an exorcism,
Right.
or whatever it is. But Insidious never does that.
No, they don't.
And I think that that's kind of what sets it apart is that it is this entirely different thing. They described it as something more carnival-esque, and I really appreciated that.
Okay.
But they say, again, it has its own signature iconography.
Yeah.
So they don't have to really rely on that stereotypical stuff.
Like, we can beat the shit out of the ghosts if we figure out the way to do it.
Yeah.
We don't need 47 Bibles.
Yeah, no. Take them back.
Yeah. Specs and Tucker call out to Elise from the Reneé ghost, the feedback screeching loudly in her ear. Elise answers their call, but instructs them to try not to drown out the other voices. Specs understands. We got you. We gone. It's like, all right.
He's trying out something new. Let's all be supportive.
But in the RV, Tucker offers an upgrade to Specs' spectacles, 2 small bulbs illuminating each arm, and they switch off when Tucker explains what they are. Lights. It's like, so it works.
Yeah.
But upstairs, Elise grows nostalgic at the sight of one of her old toys, a monkey with a baseball bat. And this is another really weird deleted scene. You see the list of deleted scenes on the Blu-ray, and they each have a name.
Mm-hmm.
One of them is called Monkey Speaks, and I was like, oh shit, what's that? So I click on it, and it's literally just Elise. She hits the baseball bat, and then she touches it again, and it starts screeching wildly, and she's like, stop it, stop it! And that's it. It isn't anything haunted. It isn't anything scary.
What?
I was like, yeah, I see why you cut
We
that.
can lose
that
that.
one,
We can lose that.
But a high-pitched noise suddenly sounds from somewhere within the room, alerting Elise, who searches for the source of it. We alternate between Elise's point of view and the jittery night vision camera clipped to her blouse as she kneels down to take a look beneath her old bed. There, through the clutter and cobwebs, Elise discovers her brother's whistle as it catches the breeze from a nearby air duct. She can't believe her eyes, reaching for the item with a sentimental smile, certain that this whistle was gone forever. Soft piano plays in the score as she offers it a kiss, explaining over the camera to Specs and Tucker that her mother got this for her brother, and he lost it when he was 6 years old. She drapes it over her head to settle at her neck, tucking it into the collar of her shirt and pressing the cold metal of it to her heart as she grins. Safe now.
Aww.
Yeah, maybe let's clean it real quick.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I just thought it was so adorable.
It is.
And I feel like moments like this, I was like, I think Lin Shaye can get away with anything.
Yeah.
For sure.
Oh, yeah.
Elise continues onward, the beam of her flashlight illuminating long-forgotten items to her noticeable delight. But behind her, what once seemed to be Elise's shadow steps free from the far wall, the stark silhouette creeping forward, creaking the floorboards and startling Elise, who arcs her flashlight over to discover a rack of her father's old uniforms. I loved this so much.
Yeah,
Yes.
that was really cool.
This is when I sat up in my seat a little bit and I was like, okay, here we go.
Yeah.
I think it's these kinds of scares that aren't jumping out at you or loud noises.
Right.
The ones that kind of make you question what you're seeing.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's great.
Mm-hmm.
But these uniforms appear as frightful to Elise as whatever we saw lurking behind her. She shudders as she reaches her fingers for the fabric, and once her hand reaches the hem of her father's jacket, she discovers a key ring resting there, which startles her with a small electrical shock. 2 limbs then stretch to block the light beneath the bedroom door, capturing Elise's attention, but when she tears the door open, she discovers the outside hall to be empty. She steps out of the bedroom, glancing down the corridor and finding nothing of note. But when she peers down the staircase, a shadow suddenly darts past, prompting her to follow. Elise descends the steps, inching her way into the laundry room. But through the static fuzz of her camera, Tucker seems to spot something, directing Elise to go back and to the left. JFK style.
Yes.
Elise does, but when the night vision doesn't seem to discover anything, Tucker explains that he thought he saw some feet. Specs scolds. Feet? Everyone has the right to be on the lookout for whatever they're on the lookout for.
I saw them too.
Yeah, they were
I
there.
Yeah.
I gotta go back.
That was cool though.
It
because you
was.
do see him for a second.
It was kind of like a scare that's in Host. Yeah.
Okay.
It was good because I was like,
Yeah.
"What?" And then there was nothing there.
Oh, okay. But Elise just creeps deeper into the room, the low light of her camera cast across the hanging laundry on a clothesline. It's like, why does Ted keep it so fucking scary in here?
Yes, because he's a fucking ghost.
It's like, make myself at home. But through the feed, Specs gasps sharply, spying something through the blades of a standing fan in the corner of the room. He radios into Elise. There's someone right in front of you. And I don't know why he says it this way, but he goes, looks like a woman. So he's just trying out everything.
Whoa, man.
Elise can't see what he's talking about. But Specs isn't wrong. Right before her stands a young woman, stoic and stationary in the shadows. Elise reaches her hand forward, through Specs' cautions for her to be careful. He warns that she's going to touch her. Elise just extends her arm, but before she can make contact with the young woman, she draws her arm back. And once she does, Anna, another woman played by Alec Reed, appears behind Elise. Her hair dingy, her face ashen except for the dark circles around her lightless eyes. She orders Elise to help her, cinching her arm around Elise's throat to a shriek in the score. Elise's screams and the lost signal of her camera inspire Specs, Tucker, and Ted to race back into the house, where they rush into the laundry room, finding Elise all alone, but clutching her neck. She says that the woman took the whistle.
That's rude.
Yeah.
I will say there was a moment here where she was reaching out into the dark for this face that Specs sees.
Yeah.
And I was a little kind of, I don't want to say disappointed, but I was like, how the hell does Elise not feel or see this?
Yeah.
Yeah. And she had a flashlight. And it just like, I get they're ghosts, but like, can you pick it up a little bit so we can see what's there?
But I will say, I guess, does it make sense once we learn what's going on in this house? Is that what is happening? You understand?
Oh, okay. I guess.
Or
because
not?
she's sensitive to.
Yeah.
All
Yes.
right. Yeah. Maybe. Maybe that is kind of like a
Misdirection?
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The group reconvenes in the kitchen, but Ted is confused. What was Elise doing in there? He thought she was going to stay in the bedroom.
You want me to get to the bottom of this or not? This is weird. It's almost giving possessed Josh energy. Something's not right.
No.
Elise explains that something led her down there, the spirit of a woman. She says she doesn't understand why the spirit said, help her, but Elise recognizes her as a ghost that she's seen before in this house when she was only 16 years old. Two things very quickly. The first one, Specs has one of those drinking bird toys in front of him, and all I could think of was Homer.
Of course.
But the other thing is, Elise didn't see this ghost.
Oh.
Specs drew it for her.
It's like, damn, I recognize her. But golden light suddenly fills the kitchen, Elise turning her head to watch as her teenage self, played by Hannah Hayes, exits the kitchen to join a teenage Christian, played by Thomas Roby, in the hall with a bucket of water and a sponge. But as the teenage siblings scrub the floorboards, a rattling noise behind them disturbs Elise, and she asks her brother if he heard it. Christian insists that he didn't, but Elise is adamant that there's someone in the laundry room. Christian refuses to believe his sister, stuttering that there is no one there, but Elise summons the courage against her brother's protests to go take a look. She approaches the doorway to the laundry room without apprehension, immediately entering a conversation with someone unseen to Christian. Hello. I live here with my brother Christian. What's your name? Christian begs Elise to stop it, certain that she's making it up. But Elise isn't, and she turns to face Anna, who stands battered and bruised beneath the laundry room light, Elise imploring her to come out and see her brother because he doesn't believe that she's here. The pair are soon interrupted by Gerald, who calls out for Christian through the corridor, the teenage boy scattering at his father's arrival, And as he stumbles into the hall, leaning on his cane with every step to approach Elise, he asks his daughter what's going on. Elise answers honestly that there's someone in the laundry room. But Gerald pushes past her to enter the room, and after inspecting it and determining it to be empty, he shifts his ireful eyes back to Elise, accusing her of doing it again. He pulls the laundry room door closed as Elise trembles behind him, emphatic that Gerald can't punish her for this. She never asked for it. But Gerald just shushes his daughter, raising his cane to her with a correction. If there's one thing you've been doing your whole life, Elise, it's ask for it.
Jesus.
Yeah, I didn't like that.
But before he can administer his pernicious punishment, Elise suddenly reaches both hands for her father's face, a high-pitched ringing filling his ears as he's overtaken by a dreadful vision. In a green-filtered future, an aged Gerald stands in his bathroom, clutching his hand over his heart and reaching desperately for the shower curtain in front of him to steady himself, only to tear it free from his hooks and collapse to the tiles below. Gerald slips free from Elise's grasp, sinking to the floor and shuddering at the sight of what appears to be his own death.
Did y'all know Elise could do that?
No, what the fuck was this?
I don't know. How about a little fire, Scarecrow?
Yeah.
And
Dude,
what?
I know.
This is an unexplored power that...
Yeah. She's a mutant now.
Sure. But Gerald's haunted eyes stare unblinkingly at Elise as she trembles tearfully that she won't let him hurt her anymore. He cowers from her wordlessly on the floor as she makes her exit, rushing down the outside steps as Christian chases close behind her, pleading with her to stop. Elise makes a break for it down the long path toward the front gate, but when her brother begs her not to go, she stops, turning back to face him. Gerald joins Christian, crossing over with his cane to stand next to him in front of the house. I was like, you recovered way too quickly. That's the scariest shit I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, run, little girl. It's like, what the fuck? Shouldn't you be scarred?
Yeah, anything.
But Gerald directs his son to leave his sister be. Tears fill Elise's eyes as Gerald coldly asserts, she needs to learn that nobody else can possibly love someone like her.
What the fuck?
Yeah, what?
It's a little weird writing.
Yeah.
A little?
Yeah.
Being followed by what we just saw happen.
Yeah. I would expect more emotion or something.
Yeah,
something.
she's a freak.
Yeah.
She's
Yeah,
an abomination.
anything, yeah,
Something.
yeah.
Instead, it's this overwritten line. She needs to see.
I was like, what?
No.
But poor Christian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And obviously poor Elise.
Yes, yeah.
Elise turns away from her family, facing an uncertain future as she leaves them behind. We've sat here for a few minutes kind of thinking about this, and the more that we sit with it, I feel like the pacing of this flashback is just so off.
Yeah.
And I understand, in my mind, I attributed it to, I was like, well, maybe, this is 45 years ago or whatever for Elise.
Right.
Maybe she's remembering it a little disjointed or something, but I'm like, that's not an excuse.
No.
Like, I was trying.
No, because we flashed back.
Yeah.
So this isn't really even her memory anymore. We're in the past watching it.
Right.
No, this is not an
Would it have worked better if she didn't show her father his death?
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
Because it never even comes back.
Yeah.
We never even see him die.
No. Yeah, so I don't understand why we're doing this.
Because we're not confirming or denying.
No.
Maybe she's just fucking with his head.
Yeah.
But it is another thing we open that means nothing.
Yeah.
But returning to the present day, Elise explains that she's never been back here since. But her eyes trace the cluttered contents of the dining room table, where she finds a red, rusted door roughly sketched onto a piece of scratch paper. The same door that she saw when she was a child in the cellar. But Elise supposes that should be all for tonight, and that they'll pick things up tomorrow. We find our group the following morning, Elise, Specs, and Tucker seated at the counter of the Town End Cafe, a place that Elise says that she frequented with her brother when she was younger.
Maybe I'm jumping the gun a little bit, but I'm confused as to what is happening or what the plans for the day were.
I don't know.
At this cafe.
I don't know if like a call was made anonymously or something. Someone wants to meet you at the Town End Cafe. Or you've won a prize at the Town End Cafe. I don't understand it either.
I don't know.
Thank you, because it doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
No.
And I think of all things to have a deleted scene to explain this, I searched. There's nothing.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
But to Specs' surprise, Elise asks him nervously, "Do I look okay?" She nervously straightens the cloth of her scarf as two young women enter the establishment, much to the delight of Specs, who elbows Tucker to get his attention. But the young women capture Elise's attention for a much different reason, and she approaches them with palpable anxiety, greeting them warmly, but apologizing that they both look so much like someone she knows very well. Elise introduces herself to them, the young women responding in kind. Melissa, played by Spencer Locke, and Imogen, played by Kit Goldsmith.
Spencer Locke, we talked about her in Monster House.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah. And Kit Goldsmith, she was in Magic Mike in 2012, Smiley in 2012, and Magic Mike's Last Dance in 2023.
Hey.
Well, she was there for the beginning
yeah,
of the...
she was.
Elise acknowledges that the two of them are sisters, which Melissa confirms. And this is when a confident Tucker crosses over, making an introduction and extending his hand for the girls to shake it. The much smaller Specs attempts to do the same, seizing the gap between Tucker and Elise to offer his hand as well. Specs, or Steven, or whatever, your choice. Tucker leans in with a smile. She's psychic, and we're sidekick.
Oh, dude.
When Melissa answers with a confused, "I'm sorry?"
I'm sick of y'all, dude. I'm sick of it.
A deflated Tucker just tells her to forget it. But Melissa makes with the small talk, wondering if they're in town visiting, and Specs replies that it's pretty confidential. It's a poltergeist infestation involving Ted Garza.
Specs,
I know. God damn.
He literally goes, "Do you know him? He's got that house up on the left." It's like, dude. But Tucker growls, "Ghosts and ghouls." Specs explains what Tucker is trying to say is that they're ghost hunters, the three of them. Tucker elaborates, kind of like cops, only we don't arrest humans. When this inspires a laugh from Melissa, Specs assures her that he's funny too, a lot of the time. He can also be funny. But that's about the limit for Elise, who reaches a polite hand to Specs' shoulder to get him to back off a little. As Specs slinks awkwardly into the background, Elise shares with the two young women that she used to live in this town a long time ago. Imogen earnestly intones, "Good for you. You got out." There was too much of a pause, and
I know. I was like, what a bitch.
Yeah, good for you. It's like, you know what? Forget it.
Like, fuck off, old lady.
Yeah.
It's like, whoa.
I'm taking this check from Publishers Clearinghouse with me. Or whatever she used to lure them here.
Yeah, that's what I don't.
Yeah, I don't
That's what
understand. But if and just thinking about it, if she knew they were going to be here, does that mean like her abilities? She's like, "Look, your nieces are going to show up right now. Let's go over there." If we're going to do that, I mean, again, it feels like a little more superhero. Turn it on and off.
Mm-hmm.
Do we show that, or do we like? I don't
know. I'm trying to think if there's a way to have set this up more organically.
Right.
They drove past this restaurant on their way to Ted Garza's house.
Yeah.
So I don't know. She's like, is that
A coincidental run-in?
Yeah, sure.
Makes
Right,
more
right,
sense.
But Elise is prepared.
Yeah, this feels
and
planned.
she's like,
Yeah,
how do I
very
look?
planned. Yeah.
Like it doesn't. It as we continue,
Mm-hmm.
doesn't make a lot of sense.
Elise just fears that she's making a fool out of herself, that all three of them are. But Melissa insists that they aren't, and that it's really nice to meet them. But the bell of the door rings, denoting the arrival of an elderly man played by Bruce Davison, who greets a couple of locals near the entrance before heading over to the young women when Melissa calls out to him, "Dad, over here."
Bruce Davison, we talked about him in The Lords of Salem.
That's right.
He was also Senator Kelly in X-Men.
Yes, he
you
was.
raggedy bitch.
Yes, he was. Robitel said that that's where they met because he did stunts on X-Men.
Okay.
What didn't Robitel do?
I know.
Elise turns to face the man in what feels like slow motion, his jovial smile dissolving at the sight of her, replaced instead with recognition and disbelief. Elise rises above her nerves to break the silence. "Hello, Christian. Have I aged that much?" Melissa and Imogen appear incredibly confused, as their father has no answer for Elise until she prompts him for one. He grumbles that he has nothing to say to her, urging his daughters to join him so that they can leave. Imogen protests that they just got here, and Elise implores Christian to hear her out. She's still his sister.
It's funny to me because if I'm meeting Dad for breakfast,
Yes, yes.
and this interaction happens, and he's like, "Let's go," I wouldn't be like, "But we just got."
The other thing,
We're not going to eat?
yeah, I'm hungry.
It's just such an odd response.
The other thing about it is Elise literally says, "I'm still your sister."
Yeah.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
we see Imogen and Melissa behind her, and Imogen's just looking around. There's no reaction. She's like, "I think I'll get the pancakes today." Like, there's no anything.
No.
That's huge.
Yeah, I know.
They're like NPCs. But this is what confused me because clearly she wasn't meeting them here, or she
Right.
wasn't meeting her brother here. And that's kind of the way the scene opens when she's like, "Well, how do I look?" You know what I mean? Trying to make a good impression.
Yeah.
He had no idea that she was here. She shouldn't have any idea that he still lives here.
True.
Yeah.
I know that this is a cafe that y'all went to when you were little, but you haven't seen him since you were what, 16?
I feel like everything really could have worked if not for "Do I look okay?"
Yeah.
Because it is. She literally walks over to these two young women who walk in because they look familiar.
Yes.
Right.
That's fine.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. If this were a coincidental run-in, then it's like, oh my God. But it's like she knew that this was, she's the only one who knew that this was happening.
Yeah, it does feel like that. At the beginning of the scene, her saying that, you're right.
It's just weird. And he clearly wouldn't have come here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But when Elise insists that she's still his sister, Christian retorts that this only means something if he chooses it to mean something, and he chooses it not to. Again.
All right. He gets his wordiness from his father.
It's like, you are your father's son. Again, it's just so simple. That doesn't mean anything to me.
Yeah.
Done.
Yeah.
Done.
And I have the power of choice.
Yes. Bestowed upon me. But Elise pleads with him to just hear her piece, admitting that she didn't know how this was going to go. Christian charges, "Oh, I thought you could see the future."
Well, just that one time.
When I showed our father,
Just our father's death.
I only deal in grisly images. I'm sorry. Melissa wonders if this woman is really her father's sister. But Christian shouts that she is not. And as he ushers Melissa and Imogen behind him and over to the exit, Elise calls out to them, "Yes, I am his sister." But Christian puts himself between Elise and his daughters, putting an accusatory finger in her face and ordering her to listen. His voice breaking, he says that when they were children, Elise terrified him. She scared the life out of him with stories about a monster behind a red door. And then she opened the door and she left. She left him. She abandoned him to a real monster, their father.
I get why he's mad.
Yeah.
I do too, but we know that didn't happen because after she opened the door, you stayed there till y'all were teens. Then you left.
Well,
You didn't open the door and then take off.
It was a metaphorical door.
Yeah. He's like, I'm using this door as a jumping off point.
He's playing with pros.
Yeah. Like, so he became a writer, I guess. I don't. My thing again, just with the clunkiness of it. You scared me with stories of a red door, and it's just like,
And then you opened yet another door.
Yeah. But we know that the red door is important. It's a franchise staple.
Right.
But for him to recall that so specifically, I don't know. There's something about it that just doesn't work. I feel like he should also. I understand him being completely scared because your sister tells you these things that she's seeing, and she is seeing them.
Yeah.
But you also got the shit scared out of you by a spirit.
Yeah.
You were there for that. That's what I know, that we've only seen 2 glimpses into their home life, but if he was going to hold on to anything, I would think it would be seeing ghosts in the laundry room, or, you know what I mean? Kids in our closet, like stuff from really, really pivotal days of their life.
Yeah.
The red door is more important to Elise.
Yeah.
Right.
But that was the day with the closet that he lost his mother. That was the day with the woman in the laundry room that he lost his sister.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you would think that that would be a little more accessible, but I don't know.
Elise stands shaken before her brother, Christian concluding that he means her no harm, but she needs to stay away from him and his daughters. Elise nods wordlessly as Christian guides his daughters to the exit, finally calling out his name as he forces the door open to lead Melissa and Imogen into the parking lot. Elise glances backward at Specs and Tucker, who shift nervously in the awkward emotions of the moment, before following Elise outside as she tries to catch up with Christian before he leaves. But just as she enters the parking lot, Christian is already pulling away in his station wagon, leaving his sister behind in the dust. Elise crumbles to tears, her hands cinched tightly at the ends of her scarf, as she laments that she was stupid to come back here. Specs consoles Elise, assuring her that she wasn't. She's helping people. That's what she does, remember? But Melissa approaches Elise, apologizing for her father, noting that he can be unreasonable sometimes. Elise understands, knowing what Christian grew up with. She says that it makes sense. But Melissa reveals that Christian never told them anything about his childhood. She's never even seen a picture. He never told them anything about Elise. Elise takes responsibility for their estrangement. She left Christian alone, and she shouldn't have. But to Elise's heartfelt joy, Melissa shares that Christian is a great dad and that she loves him a lot.
Good.
What?
Yeah, I know. I didn't ask you.
I think my issue with this kind of dialogue, it just boils down to the way that we're saying things simply to establish something very simply.
Yeah.
It cuts right to the point. There's no feeling behind it to where it just feels unnatural.
Maybe that's what it is, because there is something here about this scene that I don't like. I don't know. I feel like, should this be earlier or?
It's weird.
It is.
It is.
You know, now that we saw them pass this diner.
Yeah.
What if this happened before she goes to Ted Garza's house?
Yeah.
Like, they've been on the road from California to New Mexico.
Well, because she's saying, I don't even know we came back here. Yeah, you do. You took a job at your old house. What do you mean you don't know? And it goes back to that. So did you plan to intercept your brother and your nieces having breakfast? Or did you we know why you're here. Why are you saying that?
And maybe it is just the placement. Maybe you're right. Because if you have that moment, again, they're just getting off the road. They go to have breakfast. They're not here planning anything.
Right.
Then Nay's idea of it being more spontaneous.
Yes. Yeah.
And then we go from that to the house.
Because maybe it would, I feel like it would fit better you saying that because you're still second guessing yourself about taking this job before you went over there and learned whatever you learned.
Yeah.
Right.
And then that's where Specs comes in to be like, hey, we help people.
Yes. Yeah.
I don't understand.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Well, but I guess they would have had to have gone to the house because of what happens next.
Okay.
But I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you're right.
No, yeah.
Okay, just make it spontaneous.
Yeah. Change it to where we like it.
How hard is that?
But Elise calls out to Tucker, who she sees sidling up next to Imogen, having to interrupt him twice in order to get him to rejoin her and Specs. The first time she interrupts, he turns back to Imogen and he goes, so my email is.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, come on.
That's my niece, dude.
For real?
Back over here.
But at Elise's request, Tucker retrieves a still frame from last night's investigation from inside of his backpack. It's a depiction of Christian's lost whistle, finally found and held within the palm of Elise's hand. Elise hands it over to Melissa, instructing her to tell her father that this still was taken yesterday in the old bedroom that they used to share. She thinks Christian will be very surprised to see it. Melissa accepts her assignment, but before she departs to join her sister at their truck, she wraps her arms around Elise in a hug, gushing that she's so happy to meet her. Elise is too stunned to properly react to this, a small smile finally registering when Melissa parts from their embrace, stepping away to join her sister over at the truck. She passes by Tucker, who leans forward for a hug of his own, and maybe a kiss as well.
What the hell?
But he only succeeds in embarrassing himself.
I can't imagine Elise thinking that Christian would be thrilled to see this picture.
Yeah.
Well,
And then you have to follow it up with, it was promptly stolen.
yeah, I know. That's true. It's like false pretenses.
Yeah, I forgot.
It's like, so come here. I don't have it currently.
Yeah, I don't have it anymore.
Yeah, but I did see it. But that night, Specs mans the Winnebaghost all alone, calling out to his colleagues over a microphone, and we find them together in the upstairs bedroom. Tucker settles his headphones onto his ears and snags a flashlight as Elise pores over the sketch that she found the night before on the dining room table. She admits that she noticed it then, but couldn't quite place it. It wasn't until Christian reminded her at the restaurant. When she was a child, she saw a red door. The entity who killed her mother came through it. Tucker responds unimpressed. I don't get it. A red door is a red door. Anyone can see it. But Elise explains that it isn't a literal door. It's a metaphysical one. She reminds Tucker of when she went into the Further to find Quinn Brenner. When she was there, she came across a red door and she passed through it. It took her deeper into the Further. We watch as Elise enters the Further in a cutaway to Insidious Chapter 3, the light of her lantern guiding her through the foggy dark in search of Quinn. But in the present day, Elise is certain that if she can find out what it means, she might be able to stop the thing that's haunting this house. So there was a deleted scene before this.
Okay.
And we see everyone gathered at the dining room table in the kitchen with Ted Garza. And Elise suggests that maybe they should say a prayer before starting what they're about to do. And Tucker is like, what the hell? He's like, say a prayer. And so they all sit down and Ted Garza bows his head earnestly, but Elise is looking around at Tucker and Specs as she falsely says a prayer. But what she's really doing is snagging that drawing from the table without Ted Garza seeing.
Oh.
Okay.
And I like that a lot because I feel like it also brings Ted Garza back and gives him another moment to act a little strangely.
Yeah.
And he does in that scene.
Yeah.
But it also gets us back to her having this drawing where it was Such a throwaway that she saw it at all on the table the other night.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought she was gonna pray to like see if it would release the demon with it.
Ted Garza. And that's another thing is there's a deleted scene that's right after the situation at the restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
And the memory of the red door returns to Elise. And she's like, oh my God, because Christian just said it.
Yeah.
And so she's like, we have to go back to the house. And that's, again, it leads into, I just feel like, I don't understand why we're cutting these things.
Not at
Yeah.
all.
But one thing I do appreciate is this flashback to Insidious Chapter 3, because it's, again, lending this bit of continuity to everything.
Yeah.
And kind of, for the lack of a better term, furthering Elise's understanding of the further.
Yeah.
But Tucker arms a powerful directional microphone, Elise's voice traveling through its sensitive receiver and into the speakers over his ears. He supposes that this will help. And I really love the sound design of this section. I am a sucker for things like this.
Mm-hmm.
Even something small like whenever somebody's listening to music in a movie and they take off their headphones
Yeah.
Yeah.
and the sound like fades.
Mhm.
I love stuff like that.
Yeah.
But Elise calls out to Anna. I spoke to you last night. Are you there? Can you hear me? The rumbling silence crackles in Tucker's ear before Elise continues that Anna took something from her. Why? And why did she say, help her? Help who? And suddenly, the whistle blows sharply 3 times, Tucker quickly whipping towards the direction of the sound, somewhere out in the hallway. And I did laugh because Elise turns towards it too. So I was like, I don't know that you need him here. But Tucker leads the way, opening the door and stepping out into the hall. This is when the whistle blows again, and it leads him down the stairs, where he beckons Elise to follow. The device continues to crackle as the pair creep forward, through the foyer, into the laundry room, and right to the door that leads into the cellar. Elise takes a deep breath, readying herself before they creep down the creaking steps together, Elise's flashlight illuminating the untouched items now covered in cobwebs that still line the shelves. But her light lingers at the outstretched wires, which reach downward from the ceiling like villainous vines, her eyes brimming with tears to see them again. Tucker twists a bulb within a fixture to help light their way forward, but the pair stop dead in their tracks when the whistle sounds once more, but this time from behind the cellar wall. The camera presses in on them dramatically as Elise hands off her flashlight to Tucker and finds the strength within herself to approach the wall. Pressing her ear and her palm to its cold, pallid surface, Elise asks, "Is that you?" She implores the spirit to whistle once for yes and twice for no, before asking, "Are you the woman that I saw last night?" The whistle blows once. Elise continues, "Is there an entity in this house that is trying to hurt Ted Garza?" The whistle blows once again. "Are you that entity?" The whistle blows twice. "Is there something that you're trying to show me?" The whistle blows once. "Is what you want to show me behind this wall?" The whistle sounds once more, but this time in an unending exhale. And with that, Elise traces her hand over the surface in front of her, discovering a section of it to be poorly painted over. She scratches through this thin coat, revealing a keyhole.
This is a job for Keyfinger.
Yes, hell
Yeah.
yeah.
See?
Yeah.
We were on to something.
We were.
She then steps away from it, in search of the proper key to open it. We then cut away to Specs, who sits none the wiser in the RV, fiddling with his newly installed lights on his glasses. He switches them on with a, "Freeze, buddy." He then switches them off, accidentally announcing them to be on, only to correct himself as he switches them back on. But Elise returns to the far more serious cellar after retrieving her father's keyring from his old uniform. Her second sight seems to select the proper key from the others, the metal clinking into place when she twists it in the lock, the heavy, formerly hidden door creaking open, which Tucker holds for Elise, the pair peering into the shadows that wait for them inside. Elise accepts her flashlight back from Tucker, its bright beam illuminating her path through the darkness. She inches forward, discovering Christian's discarded whistle lying right there on the dusty floor. Her light climbs the walls, combing the area, until right in front of her, she discovers a young woman cowering in the far left corner, facing away from her. Her clothes tattered, her flesh pale, and her hair unkempt. Elise's light returns to the whistle at the center of the floor, as she wonders what the spirit wishes to tell her. But when she returns the light to the young woman, she is scurried closer, reaching her pale palm defensively to its brightness. This feels so of the Insidious universe.
Yeah.
And the visual is frightening.
Yeah.
But the scurrying sound and then just seeing her there really got me.
Yeah.
Elise kneels down to collect her brother's whistle, exhaling a sigh as she brings it to her lips. But before she can blow into it, Anna lurches out of the shadows, screaming for Elise to help her. This obviously startles Elise, who stumbles backward, dropping the whistle and the flashlight to the concrete. But the camera rises from the ground, following the flashlight as the hand of the young woman reaches for it, aiming its beam at her colorless face and the rusted padlock cinched at her throat. When Mara Jennings, played by Amanda Yaros, begs weakly for their help, Tucker realizes, this girl isn't a ghost. I gasped very loudly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was a good twist.
Elise rushes to her side, Mara reaching to embrace her as she crumbles to tears in Elise's arms. Tucker sets his directional microphone down, turning back for the door to find something to break the chain around Mara's neck, only to come face to face with Ted Garza, who aims a pistol at him.
I fucking knew it. I knew he was no good. He is alive.
Yeah. That's the only thing.
But I knew he was up to no good.
Ted forces Tucker back inside the small room, Mara cowering back to the floor as Elise rises to face Ted, the man incensed. I asked you to help me get rid of the ghost. Why did you have to come down here? Through his crackling headphones, Specs overhears bits and pieces of Ted's troubling tumult, but it's enough for him to exit the RV and head inside the house himself. Elise answers Ted's cries with honesty. The ghost led them down here. Ted just shudders, though, his face slick with sweat, as he complains. He's in my head. Ted seems to struggle against himself, his shaky hand raising the barrel of his revolver into his mouth before removing it, a ragged breath escaping him. But Specs is anything but stealthy as he enters the house, his footsteps carrying all the way down into the cellar, where Ted clearly hears them. He asks, "Is that your friend?" When Elise and Tucker don't answer, Ted decides for himself. That's your friend. With a sick smile stretching across his face, Ted exits the hidden room, slamming the door shut behind him and locking it.
I was a little disappointed that we put up zero fight.
Yeah.
Well, he does have a gun on us right now.
I get it, but if I'm rolling around with a big guy like Tucker, I'm expecting you to try to tackle somebody to do something.
Crazy.
Yeah, so Tucker will take the bullets, I guess.
Correct.
Yeah.
And then
But
Elise can run.
He's like the Hulk. He'll be fine. No.
I don't know. I'm just, why not ask something? He's in your head. What does that mean?
Yeah.
Who? What is going on?
I think it's a great idea.
Yeah, there's many questions to be asked.
Yeah.
Or scream out for Specs.
Anything.
Because if the progression of events goes the way Garza's planning, we've been sealed into this wall. We're going to die in here.
Yeah.
And then he's going to go and fucking shoot Specs.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's true
But
because
do something.
Yeah.
the door's already closed. Just be like, Specs, he's coming.
Yeah, anything.
Yeah.
But instead, they're just like, I hope he can hide. I don't know. We're not going to warn
we're gonna
him.
do nothing.
This sucks, guys.
Yeah. Ted climbs the cellar steps in search of Specs, stalking his way through the cluttered contents of a corridor on the first floor, snatching away a hanging plastic sheet as we spy a silhouetted Specs cowering distantly. With Ted preoccupied at the other side of the room, Specs makes a mad dash for the kitchen to find a weapon, but coming up empty, he slinks away for another hiding place.
He was stressing me out because he was literally rummaging through the
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, keep moving.
And talking to himself.
Yeah.
It's like, come on, come on. Ted arrives close behind, inspecting the evidence of Specs' intrusion. But when he gets too close to a pantry door, Specs forces it open, knocking Ted to the floor, and he accidentally fires a round as he clatters to the kitchen tiles. Ted collects himself and his weapon, continuing his pursuit of Specs, but he's promptly distracted by the motion of a decoy. It's the drinking bird, with Specs' lit-up spectacles affixed to its small face. And before Ted can react, Specs appears, cracking Ted across the skull with a blunt object. Ted collapses to the ground, defenseless, but Specs snaps into action, tilting a heavy armoire to fall on top of the prone Ted, its wooden frame cracking as it crushes Ted's skull beneath its weight.
Really?
That's murder.
Kind of, yeah.
No. He was, like you said, disarmed.
He he was reaching for the gun.
He was turning into a monster.
Yeah. Specs catches his breath as blood pools beneath Ted's dead body, and we quickly cut to some time later, the exterior of the house surrounded by the alternating red and blue lights of emergency vehicles. And this is where I was like, so before they met the Lamberts, Specs killed someone in self-defense?
Yeah.
And there's no anything.
No.
His compartmentalization.
Yeah, this took quite a turn.
Yeah.
Detective Whitfield stands with Elise and Specs on the porch, explaining that Mara Jennings, the kidnapped young woman, is a nurse from town about 10 miles outside of Five Keys, who he says has been missing for approximately 4 months. So that's where I got a little puzzled about the timeline.
Yeah.
She's been missing for 4 months, but Ted Garza has had that room locked with Bibles for 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I wish I could help.
all right. As uniformed cops guide Mara out of the house, Whitfield asks Elise if she, Specs, and Tucker can stick around in town for the next few days, as he'll have to get their official statements, and she assures him that they'll still be here. As the detective steps away to rejoin the other officers, Specs stumbles over to Elise, clearly wrestling mentally with what he was forced to do tonight. But Elise explains to Specs that there are plenty of demons in this world who are very much alive, and tonight, Specs stopped one of them. Specs offers his gratitude to Elise for her reframing of these events, but as Tucker guides him over to the RV, Elise stays behind, glancing up to the second-floor window, where Anna stands between the curtains, peering down at Elise through the red and blue lights.
Yeah, that still doesn't solve that mystery.
Yeah.
No.
But Specs is like, thank you for putting it that way. I will never think about it again.
That'll be funny from here on out.
I am absolved.
But the following morning, Christian, Melissa, and Imogen arrive at the house on the hill. And after consulting the printout of Elise holding his whistle, he makes his way to the front door. As Christian clears the police tape to force his way inside, Imogen cautions her father. Dad, this is crazy. But Christian insists that this is something he has to do.
For all he knows, Elise is here right now.
I feel like there should be more concern with the police tape.
Yeah. What happened?
It's like, did Elise get murdered?
Yeah. Yeah. No.
You know,
That's true. Yeah. I don't know. It's like everybody knows things that they can't possibly.
Yeah. But I will say, I think that it's a very sincere thing that he's doing.
Yeah.
This is the only thing that he might have left from his mother.
Right.
And I think that it's worth, all this.
Yeah.
But as the trio enters the house, Christian beginning his frantic search for the whistle that his mother gave to him, we find Elise in an interview room at the police station, seated across from Detective Whitfield.
I feel like if I was given that picture of Elise holding the whistle, I would think that she had the whistle, not that the whistle was hidden in the house.
Yeah.
That's very fair.
So this whole thing is, it's just like, we got to get them in the house.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because if
That's
she would have
true.
told him, I did lose it, but maybe we can find it together. It's in the basement or something. But she didn't say any of that. She just gave her the picture. So I'd be like, God, now I got to get in contact with my fucking sister.
Right.
But he's like, no, I'm going to turn this house upside down. I don't know.
Elise is like, it's in my pocket.
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah, right. But yeah, I never even thought of that. And it's one of those things we got to get from A to B.
Yeah.
Whitfield listens with an open mind as Elise explains that she deals in the spirit world, and the spirits can make people do bad things in the real world. She says that some of these people come to her for help. She understands that this might be weird to Whitfield, but to her, it's a day job. Whitfield nods, but Elise admits that this one was different, though. The haunted house was her house. As her relatives continue their search back at the house, Whitfield asks Elise why Ted Garza would invite her there, knowing the risk that she might discover Mara. The fluorescent light buzzes above Elise's head as she breaks eye contact with the detective before answering. These hauntings can be terrifying things. She posits that maybe the fear of the beyond overcame his fear of getting caught. Whitfield wonders if maybe Ted wanted to be caught. Elise returns her eyes to the detective, but when she does, she discovers Melissa standing behind Whitfield, the color drained from her face, red veins etched through her features, and her eyes a lifeless white. A pained scream escapes her, startling Elise right out of her seat and staggering backward to the wall. Whitfield asks with a surprising level of calm, "What?"
Yeah, dude, that did not match
No.
the
What is it?
situation. Yeah, at all.
And again, this is just the scare from the first film.
Yeah.
And even then, Josh wasn't as believing or whatever, but he was like, "What?"
Yeah.
Like that,
Yeah,
at least a little more.
It did this listening and thinking on it. Her saying that about these entities can get into people, make them do bad things, whatever. But a second ago, you were just like making Specs feel better, telling him, no, there's demons here, but they're alive. Whatever we heard Garza say, that doesn't make you think, okay, maybe something else was wrong. Like
He
you're
did say he's in my head.
right. And
Yeah.
now before you were like, no, he deserved that. But now you're like, look, the demons or whatever can get inside you, make you do stuff.
Well, she
Did
was,
you not
she was trying to make her friend feel
I was
better.
gonna say, she's like, "You're not gonna arrest Specs, are you?"
just I don't understand.
You know,
have this knowledge.
I don't
but
know.
Then you were like, oh no, he was just a bad guy.
Right.
But you know that that's not true, and you know something's going on in this house.
You're right. That should lead to an immediate connection.
Yeah.
If you're saying that this is a possibility, and that's not even true. She's like, some of these demons or spirits can make them do terrible things in the real world, and some of these people come to me for help. But you haven't connected it to Ted Garza?
Yeah. And
She's like, not him. Though.
He
and
was
they're
bad.
still asking for help. Wouldn't you be like, fuck, I think we made a mistake.
Yeah.
Or fuck whatever, because they're still showing up.
It takes your ghostly niece to...
Yes. Yeah.
But even so, what have you learned from that?
Yeah. I don't know, man.
But Elise collects herself, apologizing, and supposing that she must be seeing things, considering the shock of this whole situation. She asks Whitfield if he needs her for anything else, and when he says that he doesn't, Elise makes a hasty exit from the station, Whitfield left perplexed in her wake. And we never see Whitfield again.
No, no. Don't leave town, but I might.
Yeah. I just realized I didn't even introduce this actor earlier. Whenever I was working on my script, I was typing like Kermit in that GIF.
You Ron Burgundy.
Yeah. But Detective Whitfield is played by Marcus Henderson.
Yeah, and Marcus Henderson, we talked about him in Get Out.
That's right.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
right.
But back at the house, Melissa makes her way into the laundry room, where her father's voice beckons her deeper into the room and down into the cellar. Down here, honey, I found the whistle.
I don't think that's it.
No. First of all, that is fucked up.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
not
yeah.
fair. How are you doing that?
I know.
Melissa descends the steps, creeping through the blue darkness, fear settling in when she doesn't find her father there. A frightful figure rests against a pillar, with its back against the wall as Melissa passes, but when it exhales a raspy breath, capturing her attention and prompting her to double back, the figure is nowhere to be found. Melissa continues her search for some reason. Peering past a hazmat suit that hangs between a couple sets of shelves, but a metallic tapping rattles beneath a tattered cloth in front of her, a key ring resting beneath the fabric. But when Melissa lifts it, she reveals the pallid hand of the demon that Elise encountered 57 years ago. With a wave of its hand, Melissa is lifted off of her feet and slammed spine first into a concrete pillar across the room.
It looked like it punched her.
Oh.
That's what I thought.
It felt very scary movie to me, and I was like, y'all are losing me real quick. real quick.
I thought it was magic.
I hope it was.
You thought it just punched her in the face?
I did. I was like, did it backhand her? What the fuck?
Well, it does that later. Which is like, I feel like
don't
I'm
like
like
this.
anyone could do that. You're not. Blood pouring from her nose, Melissa lies frozen on the floor, only able to watch as a long-limbed figure creeps down from a distant perch. His bones creak as he slinks through the shadows in jittery movements, cloth hanging in ribbons as he crawls disjointedly for her across the cellar floor. Melissa's gasping cries grow louder as he finally reaches her, climbing on top of her, the scraps of his thin strands of black hair hanging like a veil over his face as he reaches the key-like blade at the end of his finger to sink into the soft flesh of Melissa's throat. With one twist, Melissa's screams go silent.
I thought that was cool as hell.
Yeah.
The demon then raises a finger to his lipless mouth, his jagged teeth jutting through skeletal features beneath the void of his missing nose as he offers a shush. This is Keyface, played by Javier Botet.
We talked about Javier Botet in The Conjuring 2.
Ah, the Crooked Man.
Yeah.
Great work.
Yes.
He is very talented,
Yeah.
and this makeup is fantastic.
Yes.
I think they said it was 4 hours
Damn.
of makeup. Yeah. It looks great.
Yeah.
But I still maintain that Keyfinger is a better name than Keyface.
1000%.
They should
Yeah.
have just bought it from us. We're not
would
doing anything
gladly-
with it.
Well, maybe was this around the time with everything? Wasn't there a salad finger or something too? Or
This was way
it
after.
was after? Oh, I don't know what the hell.
Like, we got a lot of fingers going on.
I just know the
Let's move
fingers.
on. Yeah, let's move on.
But just then, Elise, Specs, and Tucker arrive upstairs, the Winnebagost whipping through the gate and up the path toward the house, parking in a hurry. The group piles out of the vehicle and inside, to the immediate protest of Christian, who is less than pleased to see his sister here. But an anxious Elise inquires, "You can't find her, can you?" Christian can't, and he wonders where his daughter is. But Imogen emerges from the living room, telling Elise that they've looked everywhere. But Elise corrects her assessment. Not everywhere. Down in the cellar, Keyface reaches another sharp finger to Melissa's chest, slicing a small sliver to stick yet another key inside, twisting it harshly, and when it clicks into place, the resulting crunch renders Melissa catatonic. But Elise leads everyone down into the hidden room within the cellar, where they discover the unconscious Melissa, pale-faced and shackled at her throat, just like the kidnapped Mara Jennings. Elise and Christian rush to her side, Christian crying out to Imogen to call an ambulance. Now! If this doesn't get Christian to believe that there are spirits in this house,
Yeah.
I don't know what will. It pissed me off so much that it takes more than this, because it's like, who the fuck put that shackle on her?
I know.
But shortly afterward, Melissa is loaded onto a gurney by a pair of uncredited paramedics, an oxygen mask lowered over her lips and nose as Christian stands next to her, holding her hand in his. Imogen breaks away from them to approach Elise, wondering how she knew where her sister was. She demands to know what happened to Melissa. Elise reveals that there is something evil in that house, and she let it into this world. She posits that it must have been what made Ted Garza do what he did, and now it's taken Melissa's spirit. But she promises Imogen that she's going to find it, and she is going to finish it tonight.
Can we apologize to Ted Garza for a second?
Well, we should.
I mean, yikes.
It's like, you're admitting it now that you understand that.
Specs is like, let's not linger on Ted Garza.
Move on.
But when Elise steps away to rejoin Specs and Tucker, who are assembling the necessary equipment, Imogen calls out to her aunt, "I can see things too." Elise is taken aback at this confession, but Imogen continues, explaining that when she was a little girl, she went to sleep and floated out of her bedroom window. She says she floated all the way to their elderly neighbor's house. The neighbor told Imogen that she was leaving this world and going on to the next, and the next morning, her father told her that their neighbor had died the night before. Imogen says that she told him she already knew, and Christian wasn't too happy to hear that. Elise turns away from her niece when Christian approaches them, insisting to Imogen that it's time to go. But Imogen refuses. She's staying. A tear streaked down her cheek, she implores her father to just trust her. And without a word, Christian retreats, jogging back over to the ambulance. Elise then directs Specs and Tucker to carry the equipment inside so they can get started. I am glad that he trusted Imogen, but it is wild after all these years of estrangement to just suddenly be okay with leaving her with Elise.
Yeah.
The group gathers at the bottom of the staircase with Imogen, Elise explaining to all of them that she's going to get the attention of the spirits in this house. But in order to do so, she needs things that were important to Ted Garza. Why? I don't know.
Yeah, well,
I don't think it ever becomes clear.
No.
She instructs Specs to go upstairs to retrieve the Bible that he held very dear to him, a red King James version. She orders Specs to take Imogen with him, much to his delight and Tucker's clear chagrin. Tucker is tasked instead to join Elise in the fallout shelter. Tucker grumbles. I get the death chamber and he gets Bible camp with the most beautiful girl on earth.
again, dude, my niece.
Right.
Like what?
Read the
And they're within earshot as well.
Yeah.
Tucker claims that that is not a democracy. But Elise insists that Tucker is the only one that she trusts to go down there with her. But as Tucker aims his directional microphone upward, he mutters under his breath, "Don't patronize me, woman." Upstairs, Specs and Imogen pour through the boxes of books in search of Ted Garza's Bible. But in the midst of the search, Imogen inquires, "Why do Specs and Tucker dress like that?" Specs confesses that it was Elise's idea. She dressed them. Imogen then looks Specs up and down somewhat judgmentally, But Specs assures her that his usual style is a lot more laid back.
I'm like, it's not like they're wearing clown suits.
Yeah.
They're at work. It's like, what the fuck are you wearing?
Like a suit?
Yeah.
But he then reaches into the box in front of him with a dramatic gasp, retrieving an issue of Journey into the Beyond from inside. Imogen deflates at the sight of it, but Specs insists that it's vintage and it's probably worth a lot. Imogen reminds him that they need to find this thing, but Specs counters that you gotta have hobbies. It can't all be work. You gotta enjoy yourself. Go on a date, stuff like that. Imogen can't help but smile at him. And this is when I was like, yeah, Specs did kill a guy last night.
Yeah,
He did, and
He
your
did.
sister's in the hospital. But I'm glad we can
Bond.
share this moment together.
And this is another moment where we have a deleted scene that I don't know why it's gone.
Okay.
But Specs exits the room because he hears something outside, and Imogen continues the search in that closet where she finds Ted Garza's Bible. And when she opens it up, she finds a lot of horrific, writing and sketches inside. But as she continues turning the pages, she finds a sketch of what appears to be her finding this Bible in the closet.
Oh,
shit.
damn.
And so it starts this whole sequence. All these doors upstairs close. Specs can't get to her, and she encounters Keyface in the closet.
Oh, okay.
And it takes Specs, Tucker, and Elise to rescue her from the closet.
Huh.
Why did all this get cut?
Yeah.
I don't know. And again, the way that Ted Garza snatched up that Bible from Tucker and the way that it's had so much importance only for it to have literally no importance at all.
Yeah.
I would like to see what the hell's inside of it.
Yeah.
But down in the cellar, Elise senses that there's something down here. She can feel it. She crosses the space, reaching a fan that's embedded in the far wall, peering past the blades to spot an object deep inside. She tells Tucker that Anna wants her to have it. This prompts him to pry the covering off of the fan, reaching his hand between the blades quite precariously, with suspense simmering in the score, until he finally retrieves what's inside. It's an old, tattered slip. He holds it up to Elise, confused, but when Elise takes it from him and holds it up to herself, a deep sigh escapes her as she gets lost in a vision of the past. And by the light of a lantern, Gerald enters the cellar, his eyes wired, his shirt stained. He reaches for the door to the hidden passage within the wall, pulling it open to reveal a weeping woman chained up on the floor. And Elise realizes she knows this slip. Gerald kneels down at the woman's side, offering pills with a drink of water, whispering that this will help her get some sleep. But the woman bursts into sobs, begging for Gerald to just let her go, promising that she won't tell. But Gerald doesn't pay her pleas any mind, exiting the room and kicking the door closed with his foot. But beneath a bucket, the young woman finds a small tool, reaching for it and jamming it into the padlock cinched tightly around her throat. We find her sometime later, staggering up the stairs of the cellar, her body weak and her vision hazy. She stumbles through the laundry room, knocking over a mop and alerting the teenage Elise and Christian, who were out in the hall scrubbing the floorboards.
This was so good.
Yes.
Genuinely.
And again, how many twists have we experienced?
Yeah.
It's incredible.
And successful
Yeah.
ones.
Elise asks Christian if he heard that, and he lies that he didn't. But Elise steels herself, retreating for the source of the sound, and in the doorway of the laundry room, she finds Anna, silhouetted beneath the bright fluorescent light. Elise tells Anna, who she assumes to be a spirit, that her brother doesn't believe that she's here. But she's soon interrupted by her father, Gerald arriving and Christian once again vacating the hall. Elise directs her father's attention to the laundry room, telling him that there's someone in there. But when Gerald looks inside, Anna isn't there. He enters the room, where he finally spots her, poorly hidden behind the washing machine. But he turns to face his daughter, assuring her that there's no one there as he pulls the door closed behind him. Elise cries on the other side of the door that Gerald can't punish her for this, and she never asked for any of it. We then watch Elise's tearful departure once more, running away from the house, and once she's gone, Gerald returns to the laundry room, where he looms large over the cowering Anna, striking her with his cane. And between the hanging laundry, we witness Anna's murder, Gerald bringing his cane down again and again until Anna's arm falls limp at her leg, Gerald bidding her goodbye once her life slips away.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
And again, so you're telling me that they get into this altercation in the hall.
Mm-hmm.
Elise shows him his death. He recovers quite swiftly.
Yeah.
Yells at her in the driveway to get out of here or whatever. No one
will ever love her, yeah.
And then he comes back inside and beats someone to death?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Well, that means she had to wait for him to get done yelling at her outside and then come back.
Yeah.
Yeah. And where's Christian during this?
He was still outside. I don't know.
With a sharp exhale, Elise returns to the present day, Tucker standing before her in the cellar as she comes to a horrific realization. Anna wasn't dead. Her father did the exact same thing that Ted Garza did in this house. Clutching Anna's slip to her chest, she reveals that the woman she saw in this house all those years ago was still alive. She realizes that she could have helped Anna, that she let her father kill her. Tucker offers a comforting hand to Elise's shoulder, instead of telling her that that's not true.
Yeah,
it's
at
not.
all.
It's not.
I don't understand. It's not like there is literally nothing here to me that points to it being Elise's fault, even 1%.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it's just the guilt of her always helping people and knowing what happened.
Yeah.
But it is like, you had no, like, there was literally nothing that you could have done.
Yeah.
Her dad probably would have killed her.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You didn't have an idea. You thought it was a ghost just like you did everything else you see.
Uh-huh.
That's not like you didn't intentionally be like, hey, you go back to the basement where my dad's coming.
Yeah.
Like,
and even thinking it was a ghost, she was trying to help.
Yeah.
And I understand you can say, well, she unlocked the door, but that's not fair.
No.
But the pair are soon startled to notice a length of thread rising from the tattered hem of the slip. Bright tones twinkle like a lullaby as Tucker travels the length of it with a flashlight, discovering that it leads right back into the duct behind the fan in the wall. He shines his light deep into the dark, revealing that it's tied to the handle of what appears to be a briefcase. At Elise's direction, Tucker removes the blades of the fan with a screwdriver, allowing them access to this cavity in the wall. Tucker coughs at the rising dust, but Elise peers into this hole in the wall as the camera slowly glides to meet her. She trembles that Anna's death was her fault, and until she frees her from wherever he put her, she's trapped in the dark. Lost. She tells Tucker that she's going in there. But bravery seems to find Tucker in this moment, and he instructs Elise to stand back. He takes a proper posture, peering into the duct. He reaches inside and snags the flashlight that he left there, promptly handing it to Elise and telling her to go for it.
See, I'm not going to fit in.
I was like, God damn, that's really great work. Elise climbs inside, her light reaching closer and closer to the weathered leather of the briefcase until she grasps it herself. She unfastens the locks at the side, lifting its lid to reveal the dust-covered contents inside. It's Anna's nurse uniform, as well as a proper portrait of her wearing it. So she was also a nurse.
Right.
Okay.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Elise sobs an apology to Anna for failing her. She solemnly sifts through the rest of the items, where beneath the folded cloth, she finds what remains of Anna, lifting the poor young woman's skull into her hands before settling it back inside. But after closing this case, Elise sets it aside to climb deeper into the shaft, where she reaches a fork in her path. She peers both ways down the pipe, met only with the echo of trickling water on the right, but to the left, Elise discovers a stack of suitcases blocking the way, understandably assuming that the worst must dwell within them. She makes her way over, out of Tucker's line of sight, which prompts him to call out to her, but Elise continues onward, lifting open a case on the top and discovering the remains of an unknown woman resting atop her belongings. Elise realizes that Anna wasn't the only one. She sets the suitcase aside, shining her light down the distant pipe when she hears what sounds like movement. A skittering sound then surrounds her, but once she determines the coast to be clear, she continues investigating, opening the next case to discover the remains of yet another victim inside. She closes it, lifting her light once more to the distance when it sounds as if something is creeping closer to her. But once again, her beam finds nothing before her. She then reaches for the next case, but upon unlocking it, Keyface springs out at her from inside of it, reaching his ghastly grip around her throat as she screams. This was underwhelming.
Yeah. Well, and we just got some really good ones. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's not the same caliber.
I just don't know why we stayed in here to do this. There's so many. And I don't know. I mean, maybe Elise is in a place where she's like, oh, that's fine. You know, if I find out that my dad has been doing this for some time, even if I left when I was a teen, I need to get out of this hole. Mm-hmm. I need to pull this out. We need to look at this, you know, in its entirety. I'm not going to throw shit to the side and be like, okay, what's in here? Yeah. Another skull. Oh, another skull. No, let's get this out of here.
Yeah, you're still searching. What the fuck do you think you're going to find?
Yeah, they're all, the last three were all the same.
All skulls every time. Oops, all skulls.
Yeah.
I feel like, again, like you're saying, she should have alerted Tucker. Say something.
Yeah.
I love the beginning of this scare.
Yeah.
The light being a misdirection because you think that it's going to pop up here.
Right.
But it pops up here. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. There's just something about it. I'm like, why the fuck is Keyface in the luggage? Like, I don't like it.
I don't know.
I don't like it. But Elise's eyes roll back white as we encircle her, finding her within the vacant void of the further when her irises and her sight return. But suddenly, right in front of her appears her younger self, frozen before the red cellar door. Gerald screams surrounding them both as he cradles Audrey's body in his arms on the concrete floor. But within the further only exists the two Elises, their conversation abridged through time and over their trauma. The younger Elise finally returns to herself as well, fearfully asking where she is. Elise answers that she's in a special place where the spirits go. And when asked who she is, Elise tells her younger self that she's a friend. Well, I think that's a good choice.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm you. Yeah. It's like, what? Like, that's too much for this little kid.
Oh, yeah.
The younger Elise trembles that she doesn't want to be here. She doesn't want to go where the spirits go. The camera arcing around them through the billowing fog, Elise leans down to her younger self's level with heartfelt advice. Elise, no matter what your daddy says, you have to go on doing what you do. Never be afraid of your ability. She reaches for her hands to hold them in hers, but the younger Elise reveals something quite pertinent. Daddy doesn't mean it when he yells at me. He's scared of the man with the keys. He's the one controlling it all. He's the one who opens all the doors.
Firstly, I'm sure that this was therapeutic for Elise.
Oh, yeah.
But secondly, so what are we doing now? Now the dad wasn't a bad guy?
I would say the dad wasn't a bad guy after Elise opened the door, but he was a bad guy.
Yes!
Yeah, that's the thing.
I think that everything that is similar to what Ted Garza did is clearly Keyface.
Yeah.
But he was still abusive as fuck.
Yes.
And a terrible father.
That's why it's like, let's not erase.
Yeah.
And again, I understand, like you're saying, as far as it being a therapeutic moment, and it is interesting to see them talking to each other.
Mm-hmm.
But this is very, we already know this, kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've already arrived here, but it's kind of being treated like it's this big reveal. But it's like, yeah, we know that Keyface is controlling everything.
Yeah. I think is something else that kind of bothered me about the movie was even before when Elise is like telling Imogen what's going on, we already know all of that. Like, it feels like they think that we need to be reminded. Like, it doesn't feel like they're telling the characters. It feels like they're like, hey, audience, it's Keyface.
Right.
It's like, no, I know.
Yeah.
Who else would it be?
I've been watching this whole time.
Elise glances around the emptiness that surrounds them. He's the one who opens all the red doors? It's like Elise. Really? The younger Elise confirms this. The man with the keys told her that she's more powerful than she knows, and he says that he wants her to help him open every door, that he'll do whatever it takes to get her. But fear finds the little girl firmly as she peers up at Elise, just over her shoulder, realizing that he's standing right behind her. Keyface's long-fingered hand reaches for Elise's throat, and struggling against his grasp, Elise orders her younger self to leave this place. I mean, she takes off running.
Yeah.
She does.
But as the younger Elise escapes through the fog and we return to the real world, Tucker has dragged Elise out of the duct to lower her to the cellar floor. When he's unable to wake her, he cries out for Specs, telling him that he needs some help. The pair carries Elise into the living room and onto the couch, Specs realizing that Elise is on the other side. I laughed because Imogen's like, hey, careful with her head. It's like, you're not helping at all. You're not lifting. You're not doing anything.
She's supervising.
Yeah.
Tucker supposes that someone needs to go in and help her, but Specs has no idea who could do that. Their trademark bickering then commences, but they're promptly interrupted by Imogen, who tells them that she can go in. She can help Elise. They then sit her down, Specs a little anxious to attempt the hypnosis as he's never done it before. Imogen chuckles nervously herself. She's never been hypnotized before. Specs jokes. You won't know what I'm doing wrong then, right? This doesn't seem to settle Imogen, so Specs presses on, offering her hand a comforting pat, which Tucker definitely takes notice of. But Specs supposes that they should just attempt the exercise. He then accidentally shines the beam of his pin light right into Imogen's eyes before promptly stifling it with his fingertip. The small glow reminds him of E.T. This prompts a grumble from Tucker, and Specs only makes it worse with an impression. He goes, Imogen. That's pretty cool. What?
I know.
But he finally returns to the task at hand, directing Imogen to focus on the light and just try to relax. He tells her to imagine that her body is made of water and that she's in the ocean. Tucker says this doesn't make any sense. She's made of water and she's in the ocean. Therefore, she is the ocean.
I kind of love that, though.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It's like, maybe he should be doing
Yeah.
Specs supposes that Tucker would like to give it a go then, and it turns out that he would, switching places with Specs. Specs offers a soft touch to Imogen's shoulder, assuring her that he'll still be here. He should have done an ET and been like, I'll be right.
He should have.
But Tucker orders him not to touch the subject. He reaches into his bag, retrieving a metronome, and presses the pendulum, which starts to tick rhythmically left to right. He shines the flashlight beneath his face like a campfire tail, bidding Imogen to close her eyes, to listen to the ticking, and to focus on it. With a deep exhale, Imogen does as told, as Tucker begins his count from 5, assuring her that by the time he reaches 1, she will be hypnotized. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The ticking grows louder, Specs peering over at her when she nods at Tucker's directive, but his voice begins to fade away with his final instruction. When I say, now, you will open your eyes, and you will be on the other side. All the light in the room grows dim, replaced by a blue darkness, the haze of fog rising around Imogen, and from somewhere distant, Tucker gives the order. Now. Imogen's eyes open, and she rises from her chair. Her grandfather's chair sits parked behind her in front of the flickering static of the television, but she finds herself all alone, with Specs and Tucker nowhere in sight. But standing from her seat, she turns around to discover herself, still sitting there in the chair with her eyes closed.
I loved the kind of Josh Lambert revealed.
Yeah. I don't know what I'm doing. She glances around the room, discovering that on an adjacent couch still rests the slumbering Elise. But in the laundry room lingers Anna, the logic of her movements dreamlike as she suddenly appears in front of Imogen, offering her help. She guides the young woman down into the cellar, the camera capturing the glowing light of a lantern, which Anna seizes to guide Imogen onward. And through the fog, she leads Imogen through the iron gates of Dew Bend Penitentiary, venturing through the void of the further to finally reach the rusted red door that Elise encountered as a child. In the waking world, this sighting slips from her lips in a low whisper. Red door. Specs kneels in front of her with his sketchbook, telling Tucker that that must be the red door that Elise was talking about.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
And in the further, she approaches it, Anna's voice echoing around her as she reveals that this is the place. She hands Imogen the lantern, placing something else into her palm before pushing the door open for her. But this is as far as Anna can go. If Keyface finds her, he'll take her again. But she implores Imogen to trust her, promising that she'll find what she's looking for in there. There were a couple of deleted scenes here that I would have appreciated.
Okay.
It's just some of the stuff that we experienced in the further in the other films where it's kind of like these little scenelets where we see like other people that are still here.
Oh, yeah.
Or stuck here or whatever. There were a couple of those here.
Okay.
And one of them, Anna and Melissa open a red door thinking it to be the right one, and they find a woman that's perched over a baby carriage. Or like almost, I guess it looked more like a car seat, which I was like, that's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But it turns very violent, and the woman, you don't see it, but she, of course, looks like a person within the further, and she brings a knife down into the baby carriage.
Oh, my God.
She's screaming, and she's like, I had no choice, and stuff like that. Very eerie, very unsettling, but very befitting of this weird world.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, even in the first one, we saw that lady murder her whole family.
Yeah, that's something I always loved about these movies, too, and it's just not here.
No.
Yeah.
There was another where it was much more simple, and I think it's right when she steps into the penitentiary, but the lights start to flicker and you see something in a silhouette in the distance, but right next to her suddenly appears a man being electrocuted.
Okay.
And it's like, oh shit, it's jarring. But again, this place is populated.
Yeah.
But distant screams surround Imogen as she continues forward through the fog. She calls out for Elise, but we find Elise, who awakens within the bars of a cell, a padlock at her throat. Her younger voice whispers to her through the dark. Do you ever think about the people who go to the electric chair? Do you wonder where they go? Elise whimpers as another voice answers her in the dark through distorted laughter. It's your turn now. She creeps forward, peering deeply into the fog-filled cell block, the same space that she saw through the keyhole as a child, cells stretching as far as her eye can see, each one occupied by a captive, tormented soul. Keyface then appears, dragging his fingers across the bars of Melissa's cell, and we can see her cowering from him on the cold concrete floor. But in the real world, she writhes within her hospital bed, Christian taking notice of her discomfort. But back in the further, Keyface reaches his finger for the lock on the cell door across from Elise, and once he twists it, the low light of a television begins to glow inside, illuminating the silhouette of a man sitting in a chair across from it. A familiar broadcast echoes into the cell block as the man rises from his seat, stepping out into the corridor to face Elise, revealing himself to be her father. His voice returns to her from the past, traumatic memories mounting within her mind. If there's one thing you've done your whole life, Elise, it's ask for it. She needs to learn that no one else can possibly love someone like her. Elise is reduced to sobs, the strikes of her father's cane finding her now in this cell within the further. But her father now stands shivering before her, placing his palms to the wall. Elise stands, Keyface offering her Gerald's cane, which she takes into her hands, the voices of the past growing louder as she approaches her father. He turns his pallid face to her, his low voice leaking from his crusted lips. You killed your mother. Fury finds Elise, her teeth bared as she grips her father's cane, bringing it down against Gerald's back, striking him with it like he struck her, like he struck Anna. And every time she brings it down, Keyface rejoices, letting loose an approving growl. But through the darkness appears Imogen, who cries out to Elise to get her to stop. And Elise remembers Ted Garza, the cold steel of his revolver pressed to his temple as he trembles. He's in my head. Elise finally returns to herself, facing the fiend instead of her father, and cursing him for making Gerald her puppet. She refuses to feed him with hatred anymore, and breaking her father's cane over her knee, she seethes. You can fucking starve.
Okay.
Well done.
We got our one F-bomb.
Keyface growls through jagged teeth, sealing Elise within her cell and seizing Imogen by the throat, carrying her off into the shadows of the corridor. Elise raises her hand, forcing the cell door open and chasing Keyface out into the fog, crying for him to bring her back, and that if he wants to take anyone, to take her instead. But behind Elise, Imogen and Melissa reappear, shackled by their throats as they crawl toward her, trembling tearfully on all fours as Keyface stands over them. Elise kneels before the demon, begging him to let her nieces go. He then offers her face a small caress before backhanding the shit out of her, sending her flipping through the air to crash hard against the concrete. He then grabs Melissa by her hair, stabbing his sharp fingers into her spine, which Melissa feels in the real world, a shriek escaping her in the hospital bed as her body convulses against Keyface's clutches. Christian rushes for her, crying out to the hospital staff to help her, but as soon as they reach her, Melissa suddenly goes limp, flatlining.
Jesus Christ!
And I thought he needed at least alive.
To open?
Yeah, to open the doors, and then you're so powerful, whatever, but now you're just here.
I don't know, maybe he's like, dude, Imogen is pretty powerful too.
Right?
The staff immediately begins CPR. But back in the further, Keyface smacks Imogen to the floor, but when he turns to set his sights on Elise, charging forward through the fog, Gerald rises to defend his daughter, bearing the brunt of the demon's attack, the fiend's sharp fingers sinking into his stomach as Gerald crumbles to the ground, offering Elise his sincere apology before evaporating into air.
All right.
Yeah.
And again, that's just so quick.
Yeah.
There is a deleted scene, I hate that I keep saying that, earlier in the film where she encounters her father, but it's clearly Keyface wearing the face of her father.
Okay.
And it's a very difficult discussion between the two of them. And I know that it's not her really talking to her father or her father's spirit, but I think that there needs to be more here between the two of them.
Something, yeah.
Because this ends so quickly and he literally just goes, "I'm sorry," and then he's gone.
Yeah.
But Keyface then approaches the defenseless Elise, reaching his finger into the soft flesh of her throat and twisting it, locking her screams into silence. But further down the cell block, Imogen recovers, retrieving the item that Anna gave to her before they parted company at the rusted red door. It's her father's whistle. But instead of just blowing into it herself...
Dude,
Yeah,
I'm dumb too because it never occurred to me.
She calls out to Elise, who is very busy right now.
Yeah.
Tossing it just out of Elise's reach. Elise's desperate fingers claw across the concrete to seize it, and she's only able to do so after buying herself a little time, stabbing the broken end of her father's cane into Keyface's... Keyface. But finally holding it in her grasp, Elise sounds the whistle, its high-pitched tone echoing over all in reaching who it was always meant to call. Through the fog arrives Audrey, who lifts a lantern from the ground as soft, sentimental strings rise in the score. Fearlessly, she approaches Keyface, who snarls at her, but Audrey sneers right back at him. "Hands off, my little girl." She swings the lantern, knocking Keyface into the air, the fiend disappearing into the distant shadows amidst a rain of sparks. Audrey then approaches a tearful Elise, helping her to her feet, a thoughtful piano surrounding their reunion, as Audrey reaches to unshackle her daughter from her chains. They embrace each other warmly, but Imogen calls out to Elise, sniffling over the motionless body of her sister, revealing to Elise that Melissa is hurt. We quickly cut to the Rainier women marching together through the fog in search of an exit. And it turns out that Melissa really is only a little bit hurt. Because she's leaning on Imogen as they follow Elise and her mother, stepping and walking for herself.
Yeah.
This is, they call it an alternate ending, but it's the scene that took place before what we're seeing right now.
Okay.
It's just an alternate way, I guess, to vanquish Keyface, and I want to see what you guys think of it. Elise calls her mother with the whistle, but whenever her mother arrives, she only somewhat faces off with Keyface, and instead, she reminds Elise of her own power, and she tells her that she is the last key. So
the title would make sense.
Okay, yeah.
So Elise realizes that she has the strength to overcome all of this, and she removes her own shackle from her neck.
Mm-hmm.
And then now this part I don't really care for, but she stabs Keyface through the mouth with her father's cane, and she goes, "Try a breath mint, asshole."
No, she does not.
I swear to fucking God.
No.
I don't like that at all.
Well, that's why the whole scene got
Yeah.
Yeah.
But instead of him just like disappearing into the fog or whatever it is, he bursts into a pile of keys.
Ooh.
Okay.
And when he does, we watch and travel down the cell block as all of the cells are unlocked and they open, and spirits who have been tortured for who knows how long step out. And they're the ones that guide Elise and her nieces and her mother towards the correct door.
Okay.
I like that.
And we even see Ted Garza step out of one of the cells too.
Okay.
He does deserve a little bit of something.
No, he does. But we don't, again, we were also told that we don't know which ones are good or which ones are bad. So
She did say that.
True, yeah.
it's a crapshoot.
Yeah, we're in a bit of a predicament here.
Mm-hmm. But I guess the enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Yeah.
You guys hate Keyface too?
I'll help you right now because you freed me.
Yeah.
I do love in both iterations the whistle actually calling the mom.
Yeah.
I thought that was really sweet. And I was complaining about seeds being planted and then the next 5 minutes, it's like, oh yeah, remember that thing we said 5 minutes ago? But we literally waited the entire movie to get here.
Yeah.
And so I really appreciated that.
Yeah.
I think my only complaint is that I want more having to do with the siblings working together.
Yes.
And I don't mean Melissa and Imogen. I mean Elise and Christian.
Yes.
Okay.
Because he was the one afraid. He was the one that had that whistle.
Yeah.
So yeah, I agree.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, it feels like, of course, this would lead to him believing everything beyond a reasonable doubt, of course.
Right.
But imagine if he was also able to see his mother again.
Yeah.
Before we press on, though, I do want to say that I think there are elements of both endings that do work well, like Nay said.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the way that this works, where she just clocks Keyface with the lantern and he's gone forever.
Yeah.
I think I wanted more time to kill him.
It's so fast.
It is, but it kind of falls in line with a lot of other things in this movie where it's just like, oh, okay, well, that's done now. Anyway.
Yeah.
It is pretty crazy. Like the alternate ending frees all of these people that he captured.
Right.
Yeah.
The version that we get theatrically, it's like, well, so long.
Yeah.
They're just stuck.
We're fine.
It's like,
I got what I wanted.
I thought you helped people.
Well, we got to get Melissa back.
Right, yeah. But the Rainiers approach a rusted red door, assuming it to be the way out. But inside, rather than the cellar of their house, they discover an attic. And inside, Dalton Lambert, played by Ty Simpkins, climbs a ladder, one of the rungs snapping beneath his feet and sending him clattering to the ground. He lifts his tearful eyes to the doorway, seeing that Elise is standing there. Confusion etched in her brow, Elise returns to her family in the further, leaving the red door wide open as they continue onward.
Yeah, what?
So the Dalton thing was good,
Yes,
but she wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
and that means that it's Elise's fault.
Yes.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Well, she does pay for it.
Why?
Why?
Yeah.
She does pay for her mistake.
Yeah.
Over.
But good Lord.
Yeah.
I know.
But they finally find the proper door, leading Melissa through the foggy hospital corridor to return to her body. And once she does, she lurches upward in the real world with a gasp of air. Relief washing over Christian as he embraces her. But Melissa reveals what happened to her, the truth that her father needs to know and acknowledge. Elise saved her. But back in the further, Elise, Audrey, and Imogen finally reach the cellar, Elise stopping in the doorway and turning back to face her mother. A tear breaks free from her eye, Elise trembling that she doesn't know the words. But with a tender hug, Audrey assures Elise that she already knows. With a smile, she tells her daughter to keep helping people, and Elise promises that she will. And she watches as Audrey turns away with her lantern to descend into the depths of the further once more. This got me. This was very touching.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
I think it's down to Lin Shaye's performance and how she's reacting to everything that's happening.
Yeah.
It's just very, very... It pulls at your heartstrings.
Mm-hmm.
But Elise guides Imogen back to her body in the living room, instructing her to go home. And as she approaches her body, we arc around her through the blue darkness, the golden glow of the living room lamp slowly fading in as Specs appears in front of her, shouting for her to wake up, which she finally does, and so does Elise, her awakening on the couch startling Tucker and Specs. Elise snarks that they can't get rid of her that easy, but she says that they should probably head to the hospital. Not for her. We find them down a long corridor lit in the morning light, the group arriving at Melissa's bedside, Melissa smiling up to her sister and telling her that she's okay. Christian stands from his daughter's side to approach Elise in the hall, Elise assuming the worst after their previous encounter, but she comes with a peace offering, returning Christian's whistle to him, her brother quavering with emotion to hold it within his hands again. But she tells Christian that he's right. She's cursed. Demons follow her around. But she says that she doesn't want to give them what they want for 1 second longer. Fear and pain is what feeds them. Christian realizes, though, that he's the one that's been feeding them by shutting Elise out all these years. He asks Elise if she forgives him, and Elise apologizes as well, lamentful for ever leaving him alone with their father. The siblings embrace sweetly, reconciling after their decades-long estrangement as the score swells around them. But in the hospital room, Imogen thanks Specs for helping her family, with Specs returning this gratitude with a kiss on the lips.
The hell?
Tucker takes notice of this, settling into a seat at Melissa's bedside. But it seems that he's after a different kind of sweetness, asking Melissa for the red Jell-O on her tray and slurping it up once he receives her permission.
That was great.
But now walking arm in arm, Elise exits the hospital with Specs and Tucker. She confides that she always thought she was afraid of dying, but now she realizes that she wasn't. She was afraid of dying before she truly had a family again. And now she does. There were a few interviews that I read of every producer involved basically saying that they regret killing Elise so early.
Yeah. No, you can tell.
Yeah.
You can tell.
But approaching the Winnebagost, Tucker is furious to find a parking ticket on the vehicle's windshield. But Specs scolds him. Told you not to park there. And Elise suggests that he should have listened to his buddy. But Tucker just sighs. He gets the girl and I get a parking ticket? We climb above the Spectral Sightings logo on the side of the RV, viewing the hospital behind it, as Elise climbs into the passenger seat, and Specs supposes that they'll have to come back here to deal with that ticket. But we then find Elise later that night, in the throes of a nightmare in her bed, stormy skies rumbling overhead as she trembles against visions in her mind. She floats forward, approaching the exterior of the Lambert house, through their empty living room, past their ticking grandfather clock, and ascending the staircase, where she finds young Dalton asleep in his bed. In the master bedroom, Reneé Lambert, played by Rose Byrne, rests in bed with Josh Lambert, her husband, played by Patrick Wilson. After a very difficult day, Reneé worries that things will never change for them, but Josh assures her that they will. He promises. She just gotta give it time. But we glide over the sleeping Dalton and over to his bedroom window as screeching violins surround us, and through the cracking glass into an orchestral sting, the lipstick-faced demon, played by Joseph Bashara, appears, his sinister sights set on Dalton. Elise launches out of bed, gasping the little boy's name, but suddenly, the telephone rings at her bedside table. Elise catches her breath and answers it. On the other end is the voice of Lorraine Lambert, played by Barbara Hershey, who apologizes for calling so late, but she says that Elise helped her family a long time ago when her son was just a boy. She says that now the same thing is happening to her grandson. Elise already knows. Dalton. Lorraine wonders how Elise knows his name, but Elise answers her honestly. It's what I do. She asks Lorraine to tell Josh that she'll be there in the morning, and Lorraine thanks her, the two women bidding each other goodnight as Elise hangs up the phone. A pensive piano plays as the camera pulls back through the corridor, centering on Elise, who is soon to embark on her final case. But in doing so, will help another family with her gift. The slow rhythmic tick of a metronome overtakes us as we cut to black, before drifting through a pretty neat in-credits sequence. So, what did you guys think of Insidious, The Last Key?
I'm gonna be honest, I'm not a fan of her already knowing his name or being like, no, I know everything. You know what I mean? Having the vision, and like I did like that. I was like, okay, we're going back. Cool. But we do see the red-faced demon, and then she's like, she knows everything. But then again, if we go back and watch the first one, it's like, you don't know any of this.
Right.
So it's like, I don't understand why here you know the whole setup, and you're like, no, I was waiting for you guys to call. But then you get there, again, if we are to watch the first movie directly after this, you don't know anything. So I do like it, but it's saying it's like you should have been a little more vague with her answers, or like, oh, okay, I'm ready for this. It's something just different. I do like it, but it's like you shouldn't know any of that. I had a lot of fun talking about this movie with you guys. Again, not for me, it's not the strongest Insidious movie, but it was still decent. It was fine. I think that we do have that sprint to like get where we need to go through the movie, but I think I'm just still confused. I still feel weird about it. I don't know if it would have been better for me if maybe we would have stayed with them as children and got that kind of origin story and then like went through there, because if her dad was plagued by this key face demon or whatever he is, or it is, or whatever, let's learn that. Why? Just because he worked at the prison, he was taken over? Was he already doing this to these women when they were small, when his wife was there? Was it his wife dying their mom that caused him to start doing, like, there's so many things that are there that we never touch on, and we probably won't. So I just don't like, why are we introducing these things to mean nothing? And it is cool, the movie, but I just feel like looking into it too much, there's so many things that are introduced. Again, her grabbing her dad's head and like, that's how you die. And then it's like, why?
I was like, what?
Yeah, why did we do that? We've never seen her do that before.
No.
Why would she ever have a reason to?
Yeah, it's just, it feels weird. But again, there were cool visuals. I really liked the light shining through the keyhole and making the silhouette on the wall when Elise is small, and then the demon's tricking her to open the door. That was really cool. The reveal of the girl, was it Anna, the one that she's like, oh shit, she's real.
Oh yeah, her and Mara.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, that was cool. There is a lot of cool stuff here, but it's still, I have a weird, like, I don't know, it's hard to gauge this movie because of the way, I don't know if it was the pacing or the storytelling or whatever it was, but it still was it was very fun. I would rewatch this if I'm watching the Insidious movies over, you know what I mean, back to back or whatever. I don't think it's bad, but I just feel like it feels very weird still. Like, there's more questions now that I have that I know I'm never going to get answers to.
Yeah, I agree with that. I feel like they did introduce a lot of situations that they didn't have time to fully flesh out.
Yeah.
And there are moments that just feel disjointed. And I wonder if that is because of all those deleted scenes.
Yeah, because those
that you were talking
cool.
about. Yeah, I'm sure it would have flowed a lot better when you have scenes connecting other scenes and then you rip those out.
Yeah.
It is going to feel a little weird.
Mm-hmm.
I really love the familial themes throughout the film, and kind of this messaging also of a chosen family that she has with Specs and Tucker in the absence of, the family that she came from. And her reuniting with her brother again at the end, I think it's very sweet. Her mother coming back to kind of save the day and encourage her that you are helping people with this gift that you were so brutally punished and shamed for as a child.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, there is a lot to like here. I do like the film as a whole.
Yes.
There is just a little something missing. And maybe a big part of it is how much they took out.
Okay.
Some of the dialogue is really funny.
It is.
It is very unnatural in a way that is hilarious to me.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, yeah, I'm a little mad at it, but also I'm laughing. So whatever. John Paul had said something that it felt like Imogen was being introduced to kind of take over the role of Elise. And it does feel that way when you kind of view it in that lens of, oh shit, we did kill this very important character in the very first film.
Yeah.
This is a way to kind of have her gift and her lineage live on.
Yeah.
But it's like, where's that at though? You know what I mean? And I don't know. There's another one coming out.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
I don't know.
And John Paul and I haven't even seen The Red Door.
No.
So, I mean, we'll see where we're going in terms of the trajectory of the story. But I like this movie quite a bit. I love the Insidious franchise.
Yeah.
And so anything less than loving the film, it's like, oh, okay. Like, you guys did fine. It just feels, the film itself feels rushed because it feels like maybe elements of it were rushed.
Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
And hearing that Lee Winnell kind of struggled to come up with this story, maybe we're feeling that a little bit too.
Yeah, that's true.
But I mean, I'm not too picky. You gave me the further. You didn't give me any people wandering around the further, but you gave me the further. You gave me Elise. You gave me Specs and Tucker. I'm always with those things. I'm going to be happy to a degree.
Yeah.
I think there is like just this familiar thing that has and carries such nostalgia that literally it is just those things. You have these foggy scenes in these places, this liminal space.
Yeah.
And you feel very comfortable there. We don't spend a lot of time in the further in this film.
Yeah.
But again, we get something a little bit different, which I think is very commendable.
Yeah.
I never in a million years, the first time I watched it anyway, did I expect for some of the aspects of this film to take the turns that it did. I did not expect to be shown that Ted Garza is kidnapping women.
Not at all.
That Elise's father was a murderer.
Yeah.
Again, all under the control of Keyface.
Yeah.
But at the same time, that's some surprisingly dark stuff that I did not anticipate.
Yeah.
And for it to tie into this very tragic tale of Elise's upbringing, her not being given the love that she deserves or the patience with her exploring her own gift and the way that her father reacts to it all, it's very difficult to watch in some points.
Yeah.
And I think that just proves how effective it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think that it's exactly as you guys are saying. There's something about it that just doesn't scratch the itch like the other ones do.
Yeah.
And I don't, and I feel bad even saying it, but I feel as though this is probably my least favorite Insidious film,
Yeah.
but that doesn't mean that it's bad.
Oh, not at all.
I think that there are so many things to enjoy about it and so many reasons to come back to it.
Yeah.
That scare with the shadow,
Yes.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
that is great work. I don't understand strong bad in the bed.
I don't know.
I would like some closure on that.
Something.
Yeah.
Something.
Is that what he's afraid of?
Yeah.
I don't know. We don't know. That's the other thing. We don't really know enough about Christian at all.
Yeah. I would have liked that.
Yeah.
Like you were saying, the sibling thing. I would have liked for him to do something.
I feel like maybe instead of Melissa going to the hospital, which I guess she kind of has to if he doesn't believe anything at all.
Yeah.
But part of me would like a version where Elise convinces him to let her do what she knows how to do.
Yeah.
And Imogen backs up Elise. And then we get this version where he can join them somehow in the further.
Yeah.
To take part in all of this, to be closer to his sister and to learn that she wasn't lying.
Right.
All of this is real. And it's something that is proven to be beneficial in the way that she works. She helps people.
Yeah.
You know, instead of it being we're separated by this huge thing of him just being somewhere in the hospital and everybody else gets a chance to explore what's going on.
Yeah.
And it's great, of course, for Melissa and Imogen to encounter their grandmother.
Yeah.
But I really want Christian to be able to see his mother one more time.
Yeah.
Especially with it being his whistle.
Yeah, because it would have a bigger impact.
100%. But I mean, we can slide into ratings.
Yeah.
These movies are great. I love them. I have a lot of fun. It's the same thing that we talk about with our favorite franchises. Even the worst one is still a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, we love these films. They're nostalgic. They have such an air about them that you just feel like you're returning home when you watch them.
Mm-hmm.
Like Nay said, we got Elise, we got Specs and Tucker. What else do we need?
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit better dialogue.
Couple people in the further.
Yeah, maybe we can start there.
For the further not to be so empty.
Yeah.
But I mean, you know, little things like that. And it does, I think that it does take it down a peg. And I just, I don't know. I want also a little bit more with Keyface.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I feel like his appearances are very interesting as they happen, but I want him to not be vanquished so quickly.
Yeah.
It took one strike and he's sent off he's a fucking home run.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah.
And the situation with Elise and her father, I think that there needed to be at least one more scene. The two of them talking and Elise really explaining what he did.
Yeah.
He may have been under the spell of Keyface with those horrific murders, but everything before that was who Gerald was.
Yeah.
And that needs to be reconciled.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And whatever the hell he did to Christian as well, because Christian said, "You left me with a real monster."
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he had to suffer under his father, under the spell of Keyface for how many years?
Right.
Who knows? Like, I don't know. I just feel like that they introduce, like you had said earlier, JP, a lot of things that just don't get adequately explored.
Yeah.
And they're all interesting things.
They are.
And you would love to see them through, but for some reason they just don't.
Yeah.
and Elise basically, you know, sicking the red lipstick face demon on Dalton.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Left
Just
the door
get
open
past
for
it.
him.
Get
Yeah.
past it.
It's like you didn't learn from opening the other door
I know.
and what it did to you and your family.
Yeah.
You're like, I don't know that kid. It's like, what? It just doesn't make sense. It doesn't work. And I understand. I think that it all could have been done the same way with her seeing Dalton there and having that cool moment, but her still closing the door.
Yeah.
Because there is that door in the attic that we see, but it's, of course, you know, it exists within the further, and so we encounter it later. But I think that things were already in motion.
Yeah.
I don't think that we have to blame Elise for that, too.
Yeah. That's crazy.
I just don't get it. But I don't know. I think that Specs and Tucker are fantastic, as they always are.
Yeah.
Lynn Shay as Elise is such a fantastic character, such a fantastic performance, and I'm so glad that she had this chance to shine in this film.
Yeah.
And really get into a lot of compelling beats. Everything that she experiences in the further, the reunion with her brother, the reunion with her mother, all these things, I feel like she just does such an incredible job.
Yeah.
And everyone is right. She is the heart and soul of this franchise.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It's really cool to see her leading this film and being the main focus of everything.
Yeah.
But I could go on and on. I think that for me, out of 10 creepily clattering keys, I am going to give Insidious: The Last Key lovingly a 6.5 creepily clattering keys out of 10. I think that I gave Chapter 3 a 6.5 as well, but I think I would bump that up to a 7. I think that it's a little bit better than this one, partially because I think that the emotional beats were a little more successful for me.
Yeah.
There was something about that ending of chapter 3 that just reduced me to tears.
Mm-hmm.
This one, I wanted to feel the weight of it, especially for how much I love Elise, but I think maybe it moved just a little too fast.
Oh, yeah.
Not to say that the moment wasn't good with her and her mother, but I don't know. There's something missing.
There is.
But I will now open the floor to you.
I've said a lot of what I did enjoy and didn't. The one thing that I will also say is, again, how cool Keyface or what, Keyfinger or whatever.
Keyfinger.
That's what it should be.
Yeah. How cool that character is. I would have liked, again, if we're going to spend some time with stuff, what is this entity? I know you had said in the deleted scene that Elise was the final key. I don't feel that here. I don't even get that at all here. I get that you know that she's powerful and you wanted to use her. That was about it. But for what? Open the doors. Okay, what does the doors do? And when they're all open, then what happens? You didn't say anything. We don't know that. Why? How old are you? Where did you come from? We learned a bunch about the fucking nun. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I know that's not this, but it's still, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Backstory.
Right.
Yeah.
We get backstory.
And even in that deleted or alternate ending or whatever, she becomes the last key by opening everyone else's cell.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
That's great too.
Yeah.
Yeah. This, I don't, last key what? For what? I just don't get it out of this. But everything you said too about what's good with it, I agree, man. I don't think it's bad. I think it's a good movie. And it's the same thing we make with The Conjuring. It's The Conjuring.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We love those movies. We're comfortable. We like them. Insidious is the same way. We love this shit. It's great. But this one is probably going to be... Probably not, and then again, it does sound weird saying it's the weakest one or whatever.
Yeah,
but it probably is to me on the bottom of the list when it comes to the Insidious movies. But I mean, I haven't seen, like you said, babe, we haven't seen Red Door.
Yeah.
We don't know, and then there is another one, so who knows? But I think for me, and I want to. Just like you said, T, I gave part 3, I think a 6.
Yeah.
I would give it a 7 as well. I would go up a little bit. And I still, again, liked this. So for me, on a scale from 1 to 10, creepily clattering keys, I'm going to give Insidious The Last Key a 6.5 out of 10. I still didn't like a lot of the stuff that was here. I just do feel like we are missing if Elise is the heart and soul, we just got the soul. We didn't get the heart. I feel like
something's missing.
Yeah, there was a missing piece. And if she was the heart and she was pumping and keeping this alive, the movie didn't have a soul to it. So we didn't really get to dive deep into see all this stuff that we unlocked to get to this ending.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
I think you guys nailed it. I think we've already kind of gone over what worked and what didn't work. Like I said, really want to love all of these.
Yeah.
And I do like it. I want to be clear about that it is entertaining.
Yeah.
And it is enjoyable just being back in this universe.
Yeah.
And I love when they cheekily show Josh and Reneé in bed
Yeah.
or Dalton getting up to it in the attic, whatever. It is okay, you got me.
Yeah.
I am I think T said earlier, a sucker for stuff like that. I don't know if anything will reach the heights of how they did it in the second one.
Oh yeah.
But I love it.
Yeah.
I eat it up with a spoon. I will agree with you guys, though. And on a scale from 1 to 10, creepily clattering keys, I will also give Insidious The Last Key 6.5 out of 10 creepily clattering keys. I think once we get to the end of the franchise, we can kind of adjust where we see fit, because I think that's also what I gave the third one as well. And I don't know if I would rank them the same, but for today it'll work. But yeah, it's fun. It's good. It's not a bad movie. It's just missing that little something.
Yeah.
And I am expecting reparations for myself and my brother for, them completely stealing our idea and making it worse.
Yeah, dude.
Making it worse.
It's appalling behavior.
Well, that's all from us at Pod Mortem. What would you rate Insidious: The Last Key, and what should we watch next? Let us know on Instagram at the Pod Mortem. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter and like our Stairhole Productions page on Facebook. Be sure to follow each of us on Instagram and Blue Sky at TravisMWH, at Blood and Smoke, and at JuggaloDaddy84. Thanks again to Original Cinematic for sponsoring this week's episode. Please consider pledging to our Patreon, where you'll gain access to over 300 hours of bonus content, our monthly schedule, our Discord server, and the opportunity to help us decide which films to cover. And if you're looking for Pod Mortem and Stairhole Productions merch, follow the link in our episode notes. Stay tuned until after the music for a special thank you to our Wendigo Getter patrons. And remember, what makes us different is exactly what makes us special. Don't think of your gift as a burden to bear. Allow it to be your beacon to share. Until next time. Thank you for staying tuned. We want to give a very special thank you to all of our Wendigo Getter patrons.
Ooh, yeah.
Fantastic work. A special thank you to Chris Ontiveros, Kristen Lofton, Megan Martinez, Kimberly Bass, Sophie Hodson, Anthony Jerome M., Jordan Nash, Kent Morton, Lala Thames, Travis Anissa Hunter, Miguel Myers ATX, Jennifer Perez, Allison O'Neill, Carissa, TJ and Angie Bronson, Andy Teague, Appelin Ontiveros, Karima Rhodes, Kimberly Kleindienst, Bobby Holmes, Donna Eason, JD Rizak, Molly Gerhart, Armand Sposto, Aaron Aguirre, Eggy, William Barry, Charity Oxner, Amanda Six, Mandy Rainwater, Jordan Roberts, Dylan, Spencer Montalvo, Pancake the Panda, John Ramos, Michael Newting, Alexis Roberts, Itzy M, Gary Horton, Kate Lamp, Carlos and Sydney, Jessica Hunter, Helena Rudder, Alan Johnston, Mariah, Livy Fun, Scott Troutman Wise, Mozzie Bear, Dave Burke, Emma Hagel-Kissinger, Valerie G., Emiliana, C.T. Babs, Taylor Santana, Will Lewison, Angelique, Smelly Poo Poo Head, Beth Bauer, Cookie, Esperanza J., Jason Kyle, OKC, Joshua Rumley, Danielle Peralta, Sawyer P., Sahara, Girl That's Scary, Cassandra, Andrea Simmons, Ashley Higuera, William and Xxena Rush, Ryan Brom, Megan Ochoa, Laura Lassiter, Eileen O., Marissa E., Henry F., Megan M., Strangely Sarah, Christy Beck, Nancy and Andy, Amanda Lopez, Andy Terrell, Erica Morin, Tris Wynn, K.87, Mariah Jensen, Carrie A., Lonnie Lono, Powell, Kayla E., Maggie H., Murder Stina, Kristen Marcy, Ori81 Barriqua, Look Like That One Girl, Bog Boy, Felnez 63, Alita Pui, Probably My Jugs, Kate Thackeray, Wade Pack, A Lizard, Bay J, Jay Rich, Topher Williams, Elena Metler, Valerie K., Christy Lee Kruger, Professor of Humanities Laura McCarricker, Naomi, Josh Smith, Autumn Green, Abby Kopp, Crystal 831, Skank Sinatra, Morgan Alexander, Tony Osteen, Julie Fredborg, Rihanna S., Daniel Taylor, Anna Kate, Heather Ortiz, Kim H., August, Ginny May,
Old School Cool, Malik Caselli Armstrong, Scarly D, Toya Shea, Katie, Martin Shaw, Star, Tyler J, Cam Davies, Patrick Hoagland, Raven, Wesley Tart, Kristen Jackson, Jacob Nordberg, Samantha, Damian Grant, Half Price Horror, Clemmy, Nisi Nay, Aaron Norman, Victoria Smith, Patricia A. Graham, Erasmo Peña, Danielle Wright, Chuck D, Tabitha Thomas, Connie Lingus, Richard Murray, Irene, Jordan McCarthy, Rosalind Harnias, Emily Rance, Amy, Lisa and Kathy, Mike H., Christian Sadler, Hannah, Sarah Jack, Casey L., Evelyn Knight, Paula Garcia, Nikki M., Megan and Alexandra Saldivar, Lisa Sykes, Kelsey Niemeyer Cook, Martina LaForce, JG, Morgan Novello, Ashley, Alex M, Brandon C, Gordon Sutherland, Georgia Renland, Ashley Poe, Diana Joe, Connor Gormley, Carrie Parker, Katie Face, Jane Pillsbury, Caitlin Asher, Mia Franz, Pooh Bear, Spicy Caldera, This is the Zodiac Speaking, Jason the Ghost, Moldy Tic Tac, Brian Ward, Tanner Rutgers, Gremlin Keeper 22, Sam Spade, Veronica, Kristen Rhodes, Daniel Laurent, Carmito, TVR, A Very Sweepy Baby, Nicholas Rage, A Lazy Boy, Nicola Williams, Stu Corbett, Brick O, Jada Nicole, Lost Fan 08, George L. Robertson, Mercedes X Bleeple, Joel Miller Apologist, Cool Trainer Elijah, Mrs. Bloomingdale, Sierra Duncan, Reneé Hart, Meg Like Sleep, Final Boy, Alani, Elizabeth Thompson, Joey, Michelle Nicole, The Lipstick Demon, Less Than Zombie, Franklin Badge, Sean Reeves, The Kryptonian Orphan, Melissa B, Elena C, Jillian Munford, Evil Chris, Rex Term Raoul, Witchy Poop 19, Brian Avers, Danielle Milton, Instant Horror, Skin Deep, Ashay Guevara, Aaron Mr. Clean Bashard, Henny Kravitz, Francisco Olmos, Paunchy Cat, Christina Perez, Buddy Boy Mac, Revamped, a Rewatch Podcast, Sarah Coolidge,
Showlivia, Film Fiend, Catherine Clark, Brandon Brown, Jessica Hernandez, Camry, Amy Shipley, like the Donuts, Jack, Alyssa Muskites, Jennifer Hager, Byron Pittman, Sophia Mason, Most Unholy S'more, Pear Bear, Tom Blades, Bonnie Bozell, Crystal Reddy, Sean Weeks, Chardonnay Carlina, Samara Samuels, The Chief King, Nicholas Doba, Philip Thomas, Ashley Gravely, Kimberly Martinez, James Floyd, Estefany, Hope Mowry, Abe the Camel, DGS, J. Taylor Art UK, Robert Murdoch, GQ, Danielle Carter, Jason Moore Please, Emily Jeffries, Joey Monda, Madison Besaw, Jasmine, Midnight Martini, Vic, Gavin Annette, Jennifer Monahan, Beetle Babley, Lucille Brooker, Tono and Tone, Mick K. Dingus, Brian Highsmith, Abigail Spitzer, Christina Juarez, Billy Williams, Robert Quadriguez, Wispy Rainbow, Bionic Shoulder Blade, Zachary Luke, Squid Fart, Amy Goodman, Spooky Gal 89, Alyssa Defoe, Trev Heron, Vicky Worgan, Brooke Ball, Jason, Ryan Skelton, Travis Coolest Name on Earth Adams, Sage Pearsall, Elizabeth Salvamoan, Seed, Funny Bearded Guy, Ronnie Ortega Chavira, Puck/Annie, Trauma Llama, Ashling O'Leary, Jake Guajardo, Danny Landeros, Jamie Peel, Desiree Rose, Maija B, I'm Only Here for Aliens, TJ Schroeder, Kaylee RV, Rachel B, Etta, Disco Tumor MD, Bimbo Yaga, Such a Horror, Dana Simpson, Christopher Zufall, Nikki Pook, Blake Fry, Do You Have Your Passport? Did You Get Your Shots? Mac Attack, Mrs. Timmy's Husband, Amy Matolo, Dominic Rogers, Jimmy McCaffrey, Robo Stapler, David Jones, Aisha White, Ron Van Buskirk, Todd, Sign, Merle Alexander, Anuvin, Karen Burrows, Amy Spretzian, Jimmy Rogers, Kimberly Sabelko, and Metalworks Mike. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you all so much.
Thank each and every one of you. We appreciate all of your support, and we hope that you know we have come so far together, but you make us want to go a little bit further.
Oh, yeah.
It's true. Until next time.